Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a good day so far, or evening, or morning, whatever time it is where you are. We have to start, as voted on by our patrons, this exciting Isabella puzzle. I've been greatly enjoying Isabella puzzles. We've done a lot of 6x6 Isabella puzzles, but now we get to do a 9x9 Isabella puzzle. I think this is the third 9x9 Isabella puzzle. Isabella can correct me if I'm wrong. So this puzzle was voted on by the stream supporters. So again, if you want to become a stream supporter, you can do that by clicking the join button down below. It'll get you a green screen name, access to the exclusive fancy zetamath Discord, all kinds of cool stuff. And also, if you donate at an appropriate level, then you can get access to vote on which of the puzzles that I might do, I will do. And I will say that is becoming more and more pressing as time goes by, because one of the things that's happened as a result of me streaming is that people have identified the kinds of puzzles that I like, and so they're making more of them. And so now there are more puzzles that are the kind of puzzle that I like coming out than ever before, which I greatly appreciate, but it also means I'm never ever going to be able to do all of the puzzles that come out that I would like to do, sadly. The things that people vote on really sort of make a difference in what ends up showing up on the channel, because it just the way the bucket works is it's just always going to be growing until I don't know, maybe in 5 years Sudoku just stops. I don't know, but anyway, this puzzle was voted for by 9 of our supporters, so this is dedicated to the following 9 supporters who voted for it. Those are Doomed Yacht, Luda, Ambrose, Waluigi, Russ, J. Dyer, Directionary, David, and Wisteria, many of whom are in chat. So this is dedicated to all of you. Thank you very much for all of your support. And so I guess without further ado, let's get started on the puzzle. So this is a regular killer puzzle. And so that just means this digit tells me, or this number tells me the sum of the digits in the cage. And also, importantly, the fact that the digit does not appear in the cage. Sorry. Also, wow, this is going great so far. Also, the fact that no digit repeats within the cage. So I cannot make this a 1, a 1, a 4, and a 6. And you'll see that this will happily tell me that you cannot have a 1, a 1, a 4, and a 6 in the cage, because the Sven software will catch me. And so immediately one thing I see is that I know there's 2 ways to make a 12 cage. And so those are 1, 2, 3, 6 and 1, 2, 4, 5. And if you don't happen to know that, you'll notice that the software actually has something that will tell you that. The reason why I know that, by the way, is that it is part of the solve path of Unusual Suspects. So one of my puzzles leaned heavily on the fact that there were 2 different ways to make 12. So I have seen it before. So the reason why this is interesting is that it forces a sextuple into the column. And so it's going to get us a digit immediately, because this digit cannot possibly be larger than 7. But it must be at least a 7, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are already used in the column. So this digit must be a 7. Because the smallest I can make these are 1, 2, and 3. And so we get to immediately have our digit dancing penguin. Oh, that's right. By the way, Isabella in chat, do you know a good betting tree for this puzzle while I introduce Zach? So it occurs to me there's many new people in the stream lately, so I should introduce Zach formally. He's been a part of the channel for a long time, but Zach is our digit dancing penguin. So whenever the first digit is entered into a grid, he comes out and does a little dance. And what the little dance is depends on what the digit is. So sometimes for non-Sudoku puzzles, he finds other ways to dance. So we're very happy to have him on board. And so we get to do the 7 dance. Woo! Woohoo! Thank you, Zach, for that lovely 7 dance. It is suggested that I put something in box 5. I'm going to put it there. Welcome FJam, who I know has made an account for the sole purpose of being able to chat with us. So I am excited to have FJam here. So these can't be 7 anymore. Now, a thing that you might notice that you can do to sort of further all of this, this was the most voted on puzzle. Is that, in fact, both the 12 cages need to have a 1 and a 2. So actually, I know these two digits have to be the 1 and the 2, because I can only put 1, 1 and 1, 2 in column 2. So the second 1 and the second 2 have to go outside of column 2. So these are a 1, 2 pair, which means none of these digits are 1 or 2 at all, which now means that these digits are not a 1, 2 pair because I can't count. These could be a 1, 2 pair. No, they can't actually. This digit has to be a 1 or a 2 is the point. If this digit wasn't a 1 or a 2, these would be a 1, 2 pair, and I would have 3 1, 2s in the bucket, or in the 12 cage. That's not going to work. So this digit's definitely a 1 or a 2, and one of these is a 1 or a 2, but I don't know which one. Okay, now this exact pattern happens over and over again through the grid. So you'll see there are 3 ways, for example, to make a 13 cage. So I don't quite get this sextuple across the row the way I did, though I do know that I can only put 8s or 9s there. But there are, again, only 2 ways to make the 28 cage work. And so they are 4, 7, 8, 9 and 5, 6, 8, 9. And so that means that these digits are from those digits, which means that these digits are a 1, 2, 3 triple. And now we get to do exactly the same thing with this 27 cage, because the smallest this digit can actually be is 3. Because the maximum I can make these, again, the way I'm seeing this is the maximum I can make these is 7, 8, 9, which is 24. And so this needs to be at least 3, but it can also be at most 3. And so these are 7, 8, 9. That's not 3, that's not 3, that's not 7. I'm not as excited by the fact that that can't be 7, but whatever, you do what you can. So this is not a 3. So that's very interesting, because now these two cells can't be 7, 8, or 9, because these two cells see this 7, 8, 9 triple. I probably missed absolutely missed this up here, so I'll go back and do it up there after I do this. But both of these cells see all cells in the 7, 8, 9 triple. So these can't be 7, 8, or 9. But the thing you know about a 27 cage is that a 27 cage needs 2 7, 8, 9s. And you can, if you don't know that, you can see that at the upper left of your screen. So these digits both are from 7, 8, 9, because these are not. And I actually can mark, for the record, I know this cage can't be that one. It can't be 3, 7, 8, 9. I mean, for lots of reasons, but that being one of the reasons it can't be 3, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Same deal with these two cells and this 1, 2, 3 triple. These two cells cannot be from 1, 2, 3, but every 13 cage needs 2 digits from 1, 2, 3, so therefore these digits are from 1, 2, 3 for sure. And also I know my 13 cage isn't that one. Same symmetrical logic going on up there. Okay, so that gives me my 1, 2, 3 triple in the row, a 1, 2, 3 triple in the box. These digits I know are from 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to fill in just by examination over here. And these digits are from 4, 5, 6 as well. I'm just going to fill in over there. Okay, there was a 9 cage at some point. Yes, there was this 9 cage that I noted at the time, but then got distracted filling in other things. So there's no 3 in this 9 cage. And so the funny thing about a 9 cage is that if a 9 cage doesn't have a 3 in it, you actually know what it is, because there's 3 options. But the 3 options, 2 of them involve a 3. So the only thing this can be is 1, 2, 6. Which means that this digit, at least, is not a 6, for whatever that is worth. It felt to me like that was going to be profound, but now looking at it, I'm not sure it's actually all that profound. I'm noticing that this 10 cage needs to have a high digit and a low digit. But I'm not quite sure what to do with that yet. Let's see. So again, there's two options. Right. I need to repeat the 1-2 logic with the 28 cages. That's going to be the next step. Because remember, 28 cages need an 8 and a 9. I can only put 1 8 and a 9 in this column. So therefore, these two digits are the extra 8, 9. So they're not 4, 5, 6, or 7. They're 8 or 9. And therefore, none of these cells are 8 or 9. And it is impossible that both of these are 8, 9, because that would put 3 8, 9s in this cage. And so therefore, this is definitely an 8 or 9. Okay. So that gives us a bunch more pencil marks that are relevant. So we've got all of that. Am I mismarking something? Oh, you just want me to mark that this always has a 6 in it. Okay, got it. Okay, I had not noticed that. But several people in chat have noted that these are that one of these two has to be a 6, because every way of making 27 weirdly involves a 6. So one of those two is a 6. And so, as Tristan points out, the reason why people are pointing this out, which I did not see why people were so interested in the 6, but the reason is it removes that 6 and gets us a 6 over here, over there. Chat was claiming this can't be a 4. Oh, yes, because there's always a 4 in here. Okay. So that's very cool. So this 4 tells me that this side can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4, but every 10 cage needs a 1, 2, 3, or 4. So therefore, this is 1, 2, 3, or 4. And therefore, this is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Which is very interesting, sort of looking into this column in the way that it does. I seem to have confused the people with the blue wrenches. I am sorry to the people with the blue wrenches who may have been offended by this. Let's see. Well, this is a fascinating discussion going on chat, but I'm going to leave that one in chat. Let's see. So I know there's a 1 and a 2 over here. That's true. Eric points out. Somehow Eric, despite also being a blue wrench person, I was able to tell apart because there's a space in there. So we have that. Chip probably is aware that I'm not going to take that much coercion to color 7, 8, 9s. I was just debating if there's anything I could do before I started coloring 7, 8, 9s. Because I noticed, for example, that these two are definitely the same digit. Well, the coloring has started. It's too late now. No way to stop it. So this digit, therefore, is the same as this digit, because it's got to be one of the 7, 8, 9s in the row, and it's neither of those, so it's that one. And therefore, this digit is the same digit as itself. So yellow goes over here somewhere, in one of those cells for sure. And so we have that. Let's see. And we can do the same thing with 1, 2, 3s, although I admit I'm not wholly sold on what this is doing yet. Let's see. I'm being told that yellow is 7, because it sees both of an 8, 9. Okay, that's brilliant. Okay. So these two cells are an 8, 9 pair, but Wisteria points out those two look at these two, and so therefore yellow is 7. Great spot to Wisteria there. So I can de-yellowify yellow. Yellow no longer gets to have a color. Sorry, yellow. So I have a blue 8, 9 and a non-blue 8, 9. Okay, so this is the non-blue 8, 9. Non-blue 8, 9 is now going to be yellow, so that's yellow. That's not yellow. That's yellow. Directionary with the killer fancy spot. This 27 cage has a 7 in it, and it's not either of those. So therefore, this is a 5, 6, 7, 9. So there's no 8 in it. So blue is 9. Boy, I love this killer calculator. It's so nice. So these are a 5 and a 6, is the point. So those 5, 6 look over and knock 5 out of that cell, if I do my pencil marks correctly. This is always a 1, 2, or a 4. This is an 8 or 9. This is 9. I probably can get rid of the colors on these. I'm going to assume I'm going to get to color more. Hey, Doombiot! You are one of the voters for this puzzle, so congratulations. The solve is partially dedicated to you. That 6, 7 means this isn't a 1 or a 2. It's a 3 or a 4. Not too surprising over there. Oh, hey, Navaria. Welcome. Let's see. So I know there needs to be a 9 in one of these two cells. I know there needs to be an 8 and a 9. Ah! That's not 8, 9. Because it sees an 8, 9 pair. So where is the last 8, 9 in row 7? So by Jovi Wing, there are no 8, 9s in that part of row 7. And this sees an 8, 9 pair. So this is the other 8, 9. So I can color 8, 9s again. How many times will I get to color 8, 9s is the question. To look at this. And so now I see the blue 8, 9 has to go here. It has no other option. The yellow 8, 9 could go in either of these places, but the blue 8, 9 is forced to go there. So now the blue 8, 9 in box 2 is forced to go here. I'm being told somehow that means blue 8, 9 is 8. Probably because blue sees that cell. Sven told me, as did Navario. So we get to uncolor these again, tragically. So we get to color everything for half a second, and then it goes away, is the way of this puzzle. 8 now in this box is placed over here. Let's see. 9 is in one of those two, but I don't think I know which one yet. 8 is placed here by Sudoku in this box. It's not going there, it's not going there, and it's not 1 or 2. This has been super smooth so far. Let's hope I did not choose the betting tree that is now a... no, good. The 8 goes there. Do I have all of my 8s done? Yes, I do have all of my 8s done. Thank you for including the solution, for the sole reason that when you include the solution, it grays out a digit when all of that digit is placed. It's funny to me that is the thing that matters to me, but that's the thing that matters to me. So these are a 4-5 pair, which bounces up to make that a 3 and a 7, which makes this less 3 than it was before, that less 3 than it was before. That's a 1-2 pair in the row. For whatever that is worth. Now one of these two is a 7. Let's see. Let's see. So the 3 is in one of these two. Right. This cage definitely has a 3. The question is, does this cage also have a 3? Is, I guess, the question. And I don't know. So that was what I always thought, Conco, was that it would just gray it out when you place 9 of the same digit. But actually, because there are certain types of puzzles where you might place more than 9 of a particular digit, the programmer actually specifically set it up so that only grays it out if you have all of them in the solution. So if you were doing one of the 5-less puzzles, the 5 would just start grayed out as long as someone put the solution code in. I'm being encouraged to look for 9s, which is probably not a bad idea. Yes, where does 9 go in this box? It goes there. Now, where does 9 go in the central box? Not in the betting tree is all I care about. 9 is one of these two cells. In the central box. That's not a 9. Now that's not a 9, now that's a 9. And now that doesn't at all fix with this killer cages. But we are almost done with 9s, I believe. Where am I missing a 9? I seem to be missing, let's see, a 9 over here. There's still 2 places for 9 in this box, it looks like, actually. So we've actually got a little Jovi wing of 9s that is yet to be finished. This cell seems to be 5 or 6 only, just by box stuff. These cells seem to be 1, 2, 3, 4, just by box stuff. One of these cells is definitely the 4 for the row, so this cell isn't a 4, although that seems like the kind of thing that's going to be awfully painful if I try and actually do anything. Directionary points out a terrifying quad in column 4. So these are not 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, or 9. So these are 5, 6, or 7 are the only things that they can be. Let's see. I probably should be coloring 1-2s, because I bet if I color 1-2s, I'm going to be able to start placing some 1-2s in this box or whatever. So this 1-2, let's make that yellow. That's yellow. That's blue. Let's see, blue needs to come over here. I don't immediately see, yeah, one of those 2 is blue, but I don't know which one. One of these 2 is yellow, but I don't know which one yet. I'm missing a connection here. Yeah, I don't know if that's yellow, do I? Oh, where's the blue in box 8? Blue in box 8 is there. Excellent, thank you. I was going to say thank you, Tristan, again, and then everyone would have assumed I was joking. But in reality, I would have misunderstood what was happening, which does happen sometimes. Blue 1-2 is in one of these places. Oh, I am told this cell is a 5. It is a naked single 5. That is a good point. It's not as much fun as coloring 1s and 2s and chasing them around the grid, but it's probably more efficient. Because this cell by the row is 5 or 6, but by the column it's not 6, so it's a 5. Which is then going to resolve what this is, because these sum to 10. So this has to be a 1 or a 2. So that lets me color that this is yellow. Okay, so there was a good reason all along for us to do that. This cell's a 5. Now this cell sees 1 and 2. So that 1, 2, so that's not a 1 or a 2. Now. And now yellow in this box is here, so this is yellow. It's not a 3. Now that's a 1-2 pair, which makes that a 3. So this is not 5. Let's see. What goes with 9 and 8? Anything. What goes with, let's see. These aren't 3, I'm being informed. By Sven. Thank you, Sven. Let's see. Feels like we're getting close. Yes, this one. This is blue. There we go. So that's yellow. That's going to do it. Possibly, hopefully. So now yellow in this box goes in one of these 2 places. This is blue. I should probably do while I'm doing this. Let's see. So blue is in the 15 cage for whatever that's worth. Yellow is not in the 15 cage for whatever it's worth. Yellow is in row 8, right? This cell is being pointed out by JLib. This cell sees yellow and blue, so it sees a 1-2 pair, so it's 4. Which makes this cell blue. So these aren't 4. So if this 12 cage doesn't have a 4, then it doesn't have a 5 either, because those go together. So these aren't 3 or 6. This now can only apparently be 5. So this is not 5 and is the yellow 1-2. So those 1-2 pairs look at this and make that cell a 4, which makes that cell a 5, which makes that cell a 4, which makes that cell a 3, and makes this cell the yellow 1-2. And so All of our blues are almost done, apparently. Yes, our blue goes over here now in this box. It's the only place for blue. And so now blue is just placed Sudoku logically here, which is actually huge because it actually places the 9. Because if this has to be a blue 1, 2, it's not a 9. And so therefore, by our pencil marks, that's a 9 and that's a 9. And now 9s are done. I wonder if the logic was supposed to be more symmetrical between the 1, 2s and the 8, 9s. It's awesome, but I'm not sure if the fact that I never had to color this much in 1s and 2s, or sorry, in 8s and 9s and have to color this much in 1s and 2s, it might mean I missed something very fundamental. I'm not sure. Codec bets 3. Good luck, Codec. So I can't do math, apparently. 5 is not the digit that's missing. 7 is the digit that's missing. So let's see. So these are 3 and 6, it looks like. These are 4, 5, it looks like. I'm wrong. 5, 7 again. Sorry, 7. I apparently overlooked 7 twice in a row there. So let's see. 6 in box 3. Ah, yes, 6 in box 3. Very good. From JLib. 6 in box 3 goes here, which now means that this needs to be a 5 in order to make this cage work, which means that this isn't a 5 or a 6, and that's not a 6. This is just a 4, 7 pair. That's not a 5. So these digits are a 1, 2. It's the yellow 1, 2. A 3, 4. Well, I know where the 3 goes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 3 seems to go here. So these are not 3. Oh, hey, Rangsk. Codec comes in and bets 3. Rangsk comes in and bets 8. Excellent. So that's a 4, 7 pair in this row. So I know this is a 1, 2, or a 6. Let's see. Do I have another 4, 7 pair? I might have another 4, 7 pair if I look very carefully. Or I might have to color 4, 7s. There's a 4, 7 pair that is left over in this box. Looking better for us coloring 4, 7s. Oh, except this is a 4. So I'll fill in 7. So that's a 4, that's a 7. Okay, so this is a pair. It is a 3 and a 4, I want to say. So this is a pair. There's a 5 and a 6, I want to say. Oh, let's see. Todd pointed out something. I missed Todd's point. Let me scroll up to where Todd said something. The 15K has to be maxed. Interesting, because now what is the maximum of this cell? Let's see. It can't be 987. So the maximum I could get here is... yes, the maximum I can get is 6, 7, and 2. So this has to be 6, 7. And blue has to be 2. So all the blues are 2. Da-dee-dee-da-dee-da. And the yellows are 1s. And this is the 6, and that's the 7. And the betting tree is incalculable. That's a 1, a 5, and a 6. And a 6 and a 1. The 7 gives me that 4, which is going to sort of unravel through this if I fill in the correct digits in the correct places. The 6 gives me the 3 and the 6. That's a 7, and a 5 and a 7, and a 6 and a 3, and a 6 and a 5, and a 4 and a 6, and a 4 and a 7. And let's see, we've got a 3 here, a 4 there, and our betting tree is a 5. Congratulations to all of you who bet 5. That was a lovely puzzle. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, that was very elegant and very smooth. So Sorry, just for Rangsk, we have to put in that. Isabella intended that there would be one monodigit triomino in the grid, so that is definitely the monodigit triomino. Yeah, very nice puzzle. I should make the ones yellow, or people will be sad. Yeah, so, oh, good night, DDX. Alrighty, so that was quick. I am enjoying Pure Killers a lot more now that I have this cage tool. The cage tool is magic and makes killers sort of like a... I no longer have to verify if it's true if chat says something like, every way of making 24 with a 7 also requires a 6, or whatever thing chat claims. I can just look it up over here and see like, yes, I agree, that's true, without having to like min and max stuff in my head and realize that it's because 6 plus 6 is 12, but I can't put 2 6s in a cage or something like that, which is hard to do in my head. All right, that was excellent. We're going to do more puzzles, so I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. How long is it? I'm told the CTC feature is long. 2 hours and 8 minutes. Yeah, I Keep Talking and No One Explodes was the first 2-hour CTC video, and I think it did not make it a week before there was a longer one. Immediately afterwards. What puzzle is it that Simon does that takes 2 hours and 8 minutes? Is it one I've done? I think Balanced Loop is Sudoku by Glipperl is one of my favorite CTC features of all time. Oh, wonderful. I look forward to seeing the extra Roggen puzzle. All right, so this puzzle is by sirxemic. I don't know that we've done a sirxemic puzzle before on the stream, but I'm happy to do this one. So this is an entropic lines puzzle, except we're doing slightly different kinds of entropy now. So the slightly different kind of entropy is now, instead of every 3 things, every 4 consecutive things along a line have to contain one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8, 9. So in particular, none of these lines contain 5s, which I am okay with. So that's very cool for that. Let's see. Yes. So in box 5, for example, we can fill in 5. Oh yeah, we should put in a betting tree. Let's make the bedding tree here, unless someone who's done this puzzle or sirxemic is around to tell us. But yes, we do get to fill in a 5. So Zach has to go, and this is the one where he needs the flight rigging so he can float upside down. Thank you, Zach. Thank you very much. Alrighty. So I guess what we're probably looking for is maybe cells that can't be. So, for example, one of the groups is 6, 7. And the fact that these can't be 6 or 7 means that... Okay, I've got a digit. I have a real digit now. Because one of these 4 cells has to be 6 or 7. Well, none of them are 6. And these 3 aren't 7. So therefore, that one is 7. And now if I count 4 along, 1, 2, 3, 4, that has to be 6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, that has to be 6 or 7. Except it's not 7, so it's a 6, and that's a 7. And so now this cell has to be 6 or 7, because neither of these can be 6 or 7. So therefore, this cell is a 6, because there's already a 7 in the row. Now this... No, not that cell. Did I count wrong? That cell has to be 6 or 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that cell has to be 6 or 7, and it's not 7, so it's a 6. Let's see. There is no 7 anywhere along here. So there must be a 6, but 6 doesn't go in any of those places, so that's a 6. Vignettes on Patreon eminently. Okay, so I know what I'm doing after this, is watching Simon and Mark collab solve vignettes, which I think is going to be awesome. So if you've not heard this, Simon and Mark did a collaborative solve of vignettes, one of my puzzles that's a pretty epic puzzle, because it's a collection of 6 6x6 puzzles. And they did it for the Patreon, so I'm looking forward to seeing that solve. It's funny, Simon complained that it was long, but then he said it's an hour and 20 minutes, and so today's puzzle is apparently significantly longer than that. I don't know that he really complained that it was long. He said it was long. Let's see. Okay, so now where do I count? Let's see that. So this needs to be 6 or 7 and can only be 7. None of these 3 can be 6 or 7. So therefore, both of these have to be 6 and 7. And so that one's 7 and that one's 6. Hey, Memerister. Hope you're having a good day, and I hope others like the stream as well. What are you teaching? Something physicsy, I'm going to guess. 6 is placed here, just by Sudoku. I admit when I read the rules to this, I had assumed that this puzzle was going to be impossible to start, which has not so far been the case. Not to say that it won't eventually be difficult. This cell needs to be a 6 or a 7. Strangely, I don't think I know which one it is, actually. It's a 6 or a 7. Sure is. But I don't think I know which one somehow. Okay, where am I done on things I can mark as being 6 or 7? I probably am done. Oh, right. I remember now why I did this, because I noticed that 6 was placed in one of these 3 cells by the column. And then I thought, okay, well, which of them is actually 6, 7, because it'll be a 6. But then by the time I figured that part out, I had completely forgotten how I got here. So I need to put a 6 in one of these 3 cells, and the only place it can be is that one. I need to put a 7 in this box. Uh-oh. That's tight. Let's be careful. So probably now I have placed all the 6s and 7s on the lines. So I know there needs to be a 1 in one of these. let's see, 6 in box 8. 6 in box 8. Yeah, 6 in box 8 is placed there. We can do that. Let's see, 7 in column 3. It's not any of those places. It's not there or there or there or there. So 7 in, and it's not there either. So 7 in column 3. Wow, that's neat. Naked 7 right there. Or sorry, hidden 7 in column 3 there. That was neat. So one of these is a 7 and one of these is a 7. So if you're a betting tree 7 person, you're looking pretty good. One of these needs to be a 1, but I don't think I know anything about that. It's because they put them in black rather than in a nice festive color, Malcolm. It's to camouflage it. Also, there's that feature where sometimes they disappear from the grid when you're not looking. So that's always a problem as well. 5 is placed in this box. 5 in this box can only go here, because 5 can't go on a line. So now 5 in this box is placed there. So maybe I'm supposed to do the runaround on 5s. Let's see. Are there any other places? Maybe I've run all the 5s I can run. So there's a 1 on here, and there's a 3 or a 4, and there's an 8 or a 9. And so... Oh, that's awesome. I am delighted to hear the LGBT plus shout out from Simon. Always appreciated. Let's see. I also am delighted to see that my husband has decided to watch Simon's video instead of mine. But that's okay. I can hang out with my new husband, Directionary. Let's see. Okay, so where is the next thing that I know isn't a thing? Okay, none of these are 2, so one of these is 1. Let's see. One of these is 1. One of those is 1. That doesn't really seem to help me. I greatly enjoy this idea, Jay. I very much approve of someone implementing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is what is up here. Okay, so does that help me in some way? 4. I'm still relearning these groups, so yeah, I feel like Chameleon. If anyone's gonna do it, I feel like Chameleon is gonna do it as a plug-in for this. So I should plug. By the way, Chameleon is the one who got us the fancy betting tree technology, which I adore. Let's see. I'm trying to see if this was 8, 9. That would be 8, 9, but that seems just fine. Again, one of these is 8, but I don't know what that tells me immediately. Okay. Garion is suggesting we do some coloring, which is which I suppose I accept. So let's just decide whatever this is. We're going to call it purple. So it's the same as that one because of this shape, which I should have paid closer attention to because I noticed it when this shape happened up here that it was putting a pair in this. I just then didn't process it. So now that color has to go here because it needs to be in one of these 3, 4. But there's only 2 purples in a box, so that sells purple. And as soon as that sells purple, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. That sells purple. I'm sure we can get Simon and Mark to install it on each other's computers. That being purple means that's purple. Please let me know if I purple wrong. So now here's a fascinating thing. These can't be purple because they're the same. So these can be green instead of purple. And now I know where purple goes in this string because now purple in this string can only go here. And so green percolates along 2, 3, 4. Green percolates to there. Purple percolates over to there. So now where is purple in this string of 4? Purple ends up there in that string of 4. So this is awesome. So purple ends up here. Wait, why is purple where? In this string of 4? Why wasn't row 8, column 3 purple? Because I can't do colors. Right, there's still right, this could still be purple even though that's purple. That was me being wrong. Right, because there's 2 purple digits and I only have identified the location of one of them. Not both, so I need to be slightly careful. I can still green that over there, as is appropriate. So now these aren't green. Could those be purple? I would like to know that these can't be purple. Tristan says thanks for the rescue chat because he is off with Simon. Second purple in box 8. Oh, right. The second purple in box 8 just has to go. No, it could be here, right? Yeah. One of these 4 is green, per J Dyer, and these are not green, so therefore that one is green. And now as soon as that's green, that's green. So we've got that. And this is the other one. If we wanted to do it correctly. Oh, I'm sorry, I misattributed something you said. Which J person was it? Sorry, was it Jaleb or Judith? It was Judith. Looks like. Sorry. My reading at a glance is not very good. Let's see. Where does green go in column 6? That is a very good question from Jaleb. Green in column 6 can only go in 2 spots, and there are 2 of them. So these are green. Now none of those are green. Maybe that one's green, though. This is definitely not green. It might be purple. I do not know yet. Jay is happy to take credit for things. Oh, there's more purples on here, because one of these has to be green, and it's that one. And one of these has to be green, and it's that one. Okay, that's helpful. Okay, so now I know where green goes on this line, because I have the 2 greens in this row. So neither of those is green, so both of these are green. So I guess the question is, where are the 2 purples in this row? Because these 2 are the same, so those could both be purples. Is it possible maybe those could both be the purples? Maybe. I'm not sure yet. Let's see. Yeah, 6 and 7 are neither green nor purple. Where does green go in this box? The last green is placed in this box. Because these can't be green by the row, these can't be green by the row, that can't be green by the pseudo-entropic line, and that can't be green by 6ity. So that cell is green. Now I weirdly know that this is a 7 green pair. Yeah, there's one more color left that we can color when we are prepared to go that extra mile to color it. So we can make this yellow. And so then yellow will go here. Yellow will go here. I chose this one because Rangsk suggested it, but the reason why Rangsk suggested it is because we know it's not purple or green. So this is the last unknown high-lowity. I can place the other green in row 5. I can place the other green in row 5. Thank you, Judith. Seems to go there. Exactly. So these are a purple-yellow pair. These are a purple-yellow pair, and so therefore this is yellow. Because I need to put 2 yellows in the row. Only one of them can go there, so the last one has to go there. And that lets me move my yellow up this line. So what color is this? Oh, it's nothing. It's no color. Because this is not 6 or 7. It's not purple, it's not yellow, and it's not green. So this is a naked single 5 through the magic of coloring. And because that's a naked single 5, this cell is yellow. Which now we've got our purples, yellows, and greens and our 6 and a 7 for this row, so therefore that cell's a 5 by the same sort of magic. Let's see. Yellow, green. Okay, yeah, this is a 7 green pair. I need to remind myself. Let's see. Green in column 3. None of these places. So green in column 3 is there. Good spot to Tristan. I don't think I've ever had Battenberg cake. It seems very complicated to make. Let's see. Mario suggests I look at greens in this box, which is an excellent question, because it's going to tell me what green is, because greens in this box can only go in these 2 cells. And so 9 is actually green. Great spot to Mario. So 9 is green, and so every green cell contains only 8 or 9. So they don't contain 1 or 4, but they do contain 8 or 9. And so by the magic of Sudoku, this one contains an 8, and that one contains an 8. So that one contains a 9. So that one contains an 8, and a 9, and an 8, and a 9, and an 8, and a 9. I wonder if I should have colored the green cells. I probably should have colored the green cells to figure this out earlier. But this will do. So that'll be a 9 and an 8. Mostly, I just think it would have been fun to color the green cells, but okay, so this is a 1 or a 4. Do I have all my 8s and 9s now? No, I do not quite. Where am I missing an 8? Oh, I just don't have a solution. Okay. I do have all of my 8s. And do I have all of my 9s? I don't have all of my 9s yet, but I probably should, because this is going to have to be a 9. Just for the row. So this cell is green and a 9. Is that all my 9s? No, I have one more 9 that lives down here. And that 9 is going here. Right, this was a green 7 pair. I remember that now. So this is a 7. So we've got that. So now we learn, unfortunately, nothing about the betting tree, as much as we might have hoped that we could. Let's see. Okay, so this is a quad. Let's fill it in. 1, 2, 3, 4 is in fact what this is. That is not a 3. These 2 need to be the same. Okay, let's do Garian's point first, because Garian has a beautiful point, which is that 2 is placed in purple. So purple is 1, 2. So everywhere we've got a purple, it is 1 or 2. And so this one's a 1. That one's a 1, and that one's a 2 and a 1. Which has made this cell a 4. So it's not purple, it's not green, and it's not 6 or 7, so it's yellow. So yellow is 3, 4. So this is purple and a 1. This is not 1. Okay, so yellow is 3, 4 everywhere. Let's go ahead and fill that in and see if Sven does us any help. Let's see. Sven points out that the very difficult deduction that this cell can't be 3. In fact, this cell is yellow. Let's go ahead and give it its proper color. This cell is purple. Got to color the givens. This is yellow. This is purple. I don't think I have any more givens to color. Okay, so this is a 4 and a 3 and a 4 and a 3 and a 4. And this is, I don't know. Let's see. I do know one of those two is a 4 for whatever that's worth. Probably very little. So this cell can't be yellow or green, and it's not 6 or 7. So this cell has to be a purple 2. The way I know this cell can't be yellow is that it sees both the 3 and the 4. And of course it sees the greens in the row. So this cell is a 2. Sorry, this cell is a... Wait a second. It's not purple either. It's a 5. Dang you, 5. Dang you. My nemesis returns. So these cells are a 2 and a 3, which are going to go in that order. It's funny, actually, for a long time, my puzzle that I was working on, which eventually was called Extra. So, by the way, if you follow these sorts of things, I have a puzzle that I am releasing shortly, basically when I get a chance to throw it on LMD because it's been tested, that was originally going to be sort of an olive branch to 5s, but then the puzzle was a freaking nightmare and took me a month to set, so it did not result in me having positive feelings about 5s. So I am back to not being a fan of 5s. But I tried. I was willing to reach out the hand to try and sort of mend fences, but it did not work well. But anyway, the puzzle is finally coming out, and is in testing if you desperately want to do it right now. It actually got a lot of test solves, so it's not too bad. I think in terms of difficulty. This is a 3 in yellow. So let's see. So this is a 2 or a 4. Let me make it a 2 or a 4 rather than the other thing. Okay. So now I can make the step I tried to make much, much earlier, which is that this is not purple. And so one of these 4 has to be purple, and the only one that can be is that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it easy, but it's not keep talking and no one explodes. It was more what I was trying to communicate about the difficulty. So this is a 2 and a 1. So this is a yellow, is the point. And so therefore, as soon as that's a yellow, that's all the yellows, which makes that purple. And as soon as that's purple, that means that, in fact, both of these are yellow because they have to be the same color. So now this is purple as well. And let's see, I should know what this cell is. This cell should be purple by coloring, or by entropic lines, or whatever you want to say. Or by the fact that it's literally the only cell in the row. Take your pick. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4. This 2 tells me that that cell is purple. So it's a 1. This cell should be yellow. So it's a 3. If I'm missing any colors now, let me know. I don't want to make a mistake. Let's see. So this is yellow. So it's a 4. One of these is a purple 2. And the other is a 5. Don't know about that yet. Row 8, column 3 is definitely yellow. I agree with that. I was mostly worrying about digits that I had filled in, but had not actually colored up. But that is a good spot as well. So this is a 3. This cell, therefore, is purple. So let's come back up here before we do anything we regret. So this cell's purple. And it's a 2, so that cell's a 5. And so now I come down here and look at this. This cell's a 5. And so, last but not least, we learn that the betting tree is a 7. Sweet. Very cool puzzle. Quite enjoyed. I don't remember how I even came across this puzzle, or maybe Tristan did or something. But anyway, very cool puzzle. Awesome, sirxemic. I hope you enjoyed watching that get solved. This really sort of like plays up the maximum interesting part of entropic lines, I think, which is that you sort of don't know the order of the colors. So you sort of get to figure this out. And that is nifty. Alrighty, well, I'm going to dig up another puzzle, and then I'll be back with, you guessed it, another puzzle. So be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. We have next up a puzzle by RockyRoer, who is certainly one of the most chronically underfeatured setters on the channel. I realize my screen here is slightly out of whack. Let's see, there we go. I had to turn off row and column labels there. So this is a puzzle that has come up. Rocky recommended it to me because it's very similar to the puzzle I'm putting out shortly. But I read the rules and I thought it looked cool. So excellent. And it's exciting. Rocky shares a love of sandwich Sudoku. Actually, really, I love sandwich Sudoku, but Rocky is a whole level beyond loving sandwich Sudoku, I feel like. So here's what we have to do for this sandwich variant. We need to put 2 crust cells in every row and column. That's right, Jaleb, you were the first one. You were the first tester, which was awesome. Hopefully it was fun. So we need to put a crust in every row, 2 crusts in every row and column, but we just get to declare these cells are crusts, however we would like. And also boxes. Boxes are only allowed to have 2 crusts. And so these form sandwiches. And so if you're unfamiliar with how sandwiches work, if these are crusts, then what that does is it creates a sandwich here looking like that. And so it's just these 4 digits that are in the middle. Well, I can't complain about the 35 digits, the 35 clues as a troll, because there are multiple 35 clues in my version of this puzzle, or my similar puzzle, for exactly the same sort of reason. And so each number outside the grid gives you the sum of the things in that sandwich. So actually, this sandwich would not be very interesting. But this sandwich, we know the sum of the digits inside is 18. And here's the part I found really fascinating. The number of digits in the sandwich is always one of the crusts. So if I go back to my sandwich here, for example, where I had these in, then that's my sandwich. My sandwich has length 4. One of these cells has to be a 4. But please note, that's true of all 18 sandwiches, not just of the clued sandwiches. So actually, every sandwich in the puzzle needs to have its length as one of its crusts, which is pretty fascinating. Okay, so we need to start with the fact that in a 35 clue, I can never put crust in any of these cells. Because if I put crust in any of these cells, so I'm going to indicate green for no crust, I would have to make a sum of 30 and at most a sum of 35 and at most 4 digits, and I cannot. And the same thing happens over here. Same deal. So we've got some amount of greening. I know one of these two has to be crust. It's true that the 3 clue has to be 1 cell long, J. Dyer points out, because if it's 2 cells long, then it involves a 2, but also has a 2 in the crust. This digit... So actually, Garion has a very good point, which is that actually you can't make 35 and 5 either, because if you make 35 and 5, you need to use a 5. So I actually need at least 6 cells within my sandwich. And so actually, no matter how I arrange my at least 6 cells, actually these 2 cells are also always green, and these 2 cells are also always green, because I need at least 6. And so if I made this a crust, I could get at most 5, which would not work, as Garion points out. And so that immediately gets us that this is crust, which immediately tells me that none of this is crust. Because of that. So we've got all of that. Right. And now this would be 5 again. If I stopped here, this would be 5. So I actually need to stop here, for this one. These two are both green. And so I'll denote this in the worst possible way. One of these two is a 6. So what are my ways to do 35 in 5 without a 6? Chat, go. Let's see. So one of these would be a 2 if this went this way, but that seems plausible. This 26 assuredly requires... These 1, 3, 6 are the outies. That's the way to think about it, right? The outies need to add to the outies here need to add to 10, and they include a 6. So the only way I can write 3 numbers that add to 10 and include a 6 is 1, 3, and 6. That one's not a 6. So that actually works out beautifully. Assuredly, I can do something with this 26, because the minimum that the 26 can be is 4 cells long. So a 4-cell sandwich needs to be at least include these 3 cells, or I'm not going to be able to get a 4-cell sandwich. So therefore, these are all green. Now I need definitely to have a crust down here, so that's both crusts for this box, so those are green. So there's I guess there can't be any, no crusts can touch in this puzzle, because if any crusts touched, then you would have a 0, and you can't put a 0 in one of the things, I don't think. So I have to be slightly careful with that. So that's a great point from Garion. If the sandwich in row 1 was length 6, by our previous logic, it would have to have outies of 1, 3, 6. But it can't have outies of 1, 3, 6 because of this 1, 3. So this sandwich actually has length 7 beautifully. And so now, combining that with J. Dyer's point from earlier, we know this 3 clue has to have length 1. And so, therefore, we get our first digit. This digit is a 3. And therefore, we get to do the 3 dance. Woohoo! Woohoo! Thank you, Zach. Much appreciated. That was somewhat unanticipated, but there we go. So this is not a 3. So my crusts in row 1 need to add to 10, but one of them is a 7. So these are 3, 7, and so that's a 7 and a 3, because I need to have a 3 in one of them. So that's a 1 and a 6 and a 3. So we've got all of that figured out. Right, one of these needs to be a 1, and it's not that one, because 7 and 1 are different numbers. So that's a 1, Tristan points out. Right, this can't be crust because that would create a 0-length sandwich, and I'm not allowed to create a 0-length sandwich. This can't be crust because it would create a 1-length sandwich, and I can't create a 1-length sandwich because that's already a 1. This can't be crust because that would create it. Oh no, it would create a 3-length sandwich. A 3-length sandwich is okay because there is a 3. Right, okay. This can't be crust because then this sandwich would have... Sorry, no. This can't be crust because then the sandwich would have length 3, but I'd have no place to put a 3. So this is the other crust and therefore is a 2. So this is immediately not a crust. That was a spot from chat that I did not initially get. But yeah, if the crust went here, I'd need to put a second 3 in the box, which Rocky, for whatever reason, does not want us doing in this puzzle. So these two digits add to 13 without being 6, 7. So they're 5, 8, or the other one. Let's see. And this is a 7. So I could do 7 and 3 as 1, 2, 4, or 7 and 2 as 1, 6. Do I know that this can't be 1, 6? If it was 1, 6, it would have to go in a very specific order. But anyway, I certainly can't go past here. So all of that's green. Oh yeah, and 9... Oh, I guess 9 could be 3 long if it was exactly 1, 2, 6. Oh yeah, the 9 is... Oh, well, sorry, let me say it this way. This can't be crust, because if this was crust, it would need to be a 2, and it's not. So that's not crust. So either this sells a 1 and a 9, or this sells the crust, and that works out. Or I guess this cell could be a 1, and then that would be the 9. That works out. Okay, so one of these two is crust. For whatever that is worth. And again, if it's that one, this digit is a 2. Which I don't love, but I'm not sure I can say much about. Let's see. Jaleb says there's always a 2 in the column 9 sum to 7. Right, because the... Wait, can't it be 1, 6? Oh, you're saying if it's 1, 6, then the crust is a 2. Right. Wow, that's cool. So what Chad is discovering is that this digit's always 2. Because either this is a length 2 7 sum, in which case I need a crust that's a 2, or it's length 3, in which case this is 1 2 4, but I can't repeat the 2 in this box. So this digit's always a 2. Speaking of, we never put down a betting tree in this cell. Or in this puzzle. We'll put a betting tree there. Actually, that's probably not a good place for a betting tree. We'll relocate the betting tree over there. And there's always a 1, too, as Carl points out. So this cell here is always the 1, because it's either 1 6, in which case that's the 1, or it's 1 2 4, in which case that's the 1. So that's always a 1, and so this is either a 4 or a 6. Those are the only options for that cell. Let's see. Yeah, I was looking at sort of the possible lengths for this, but I don't know. Let's see, I was looking for if there's any places that I could sort of rule out being crusts because of Sudoku reasons. I don't see any yet, but I bet they're out there. Yeah, if this sandwich looks like this, then it's needs to have a 1, which would put a 1 down here, but that seems okay, as best I'm able to tell. Oh, yes. There would be a very good observation that Woofer makes, which is that this cell had better be green because I've already got my 2 purples in the box, and I don't get to put any more purples in the box. Even if I think it would be cool and look stylish. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of options for this 9, annoyingly, even though... if it's a 3-cell one, it has to be 1 2 6, but I don't even think we can rule out that it's a 3-cell one with a 1 2 6. Annoyingly. That is a good rule to have in your puzzles. I recommend that rule as a rule of habit for Sudoku crafters. Yes, there are many many rows without clues, which is a problem. Okay, so this can't be 3 long. So it's at least 4 long, which unfortunately only gets us that these are green. But I don't quite know what to do with it yet, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, I might as well fill in that these are 5 8 or 4 9. Just in case it inspires something at some point. But yeah, what am I doing now? So at most this is 5 long. So there is a 4 or a 5 in one of these. Hey, Alessandro. Yeah, I tend to go in a cycle with the beard where I like growing it until I'm sick of it, and then I shave it off, and then I repeat the process. So expect this cycle to continue, at least in the future. Let's see. Woofer asks about 7. Yes, good. Okay, 7 in row 2. It can't go here, and it can't be part of the 13 sum because of the 6. So actually, that's a 7. Okay, I would really like that to be helpful, because it's a very cool observation. So there's a 7 down here somewhere, which seems not maximally useful, if I am to assess. One of these cells is a 2. I mean, it was such a beautiful spot. How could it not be helpful? But apparently it's not helpful. Is it possible that this is crust? If this was crust, I guess that would need to be crust, because I can't do 18 and 2. So I would need to do that. It would need to be a 3. But unfortunately, all of that combination seems to work out okay, as best I can tell. Hey, Rocky, how are you? This has been very cool so far, although I admit we're now stuck. But the beginning was very smooth until we now have sort of hit a bit of a brick wall. It feels like this 8 clue has to do something, right? But I can't figure out what it does. So is it that the 8 clue always involves a 1 or something? No, because it could be 3, 5 on the inside and then a 2 on the outside. So is the thing I have to think about lengths. I feel like this will be useful once I know anything about any digits. But like if it's a length 3, it can't be 1, 3, 4, of course. So it would have to be 1, 2, 5. If it were length 2, then it couldn't be 2, 6, but it could be 1, 7, or 3, 5, I guess. Let's see. 57 Thorns asks if 3 can go in row 3, column 5. Now, that's an interesting question. Why would 3 not be able to go in row 3, column 5? So why couldn't I make this or that the 1 or the 2? Oh, row 3, column 6. Yeah, that can't be a 3. I think. Because if this is a crust, it's a 4. And if this is a crust, it's a 3. And so, yeah. So because if this is the crust, it's a 3. And if that's the crust, it's a 4. That means this digit can never be a 3. Now, why was it? I thought it was here we were thinking would end up being a 3. What was, where did we end up making this a 3? Was there something where this wanted to be a 3? Because this is now a 3. Right. Because once this can't be a 3, there's only one place for 3 in the box. So this is the 3 for the box. Which suggests that this wants to be crust, but I don't think directly implies that it is crust. Because this could still be 4, I believe. I know that one of these is 3. By Sudoku. So either this is crust and a 3. If this is crust and a 3, then either that's crust and a 1 or that's crust and a 2. Neither of which am I completely in love with. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That does not seem helpful to write out. I had hoped it would. I was hoping there'd be something like, oh, if this were crust down here, it would have to be this digit, and it can't be. But I don't think we know anything at all about what this digit's going to be. So if this 2 is crust, then that's a 6, and that's fine. And then either I go 1, 2. Oh, I can't go 1, 2, right? I'd have to go something like, I guess would I have to go all the way over here and make it a 5 now if this is a 2? Because if this is a 2, I can't do it in 3, and I can't do it in 2. I can't do it in 3 because of this 3. I can't do it in 4 because that cell's green, so I'd have to do it in 5. Could I do 18 and 5 with no 2? And the answer is you can't do 18 and 5 with no 2. So therefore, the 2 can't be a crust. That's really clever. It's because of the fact that I can't put a 3 here anymore. So this is no longer able to be crust. And so therefore, this is crust. Therefore, that's a 4. knocking 4s out of all of those. Therefore, this is not crust, because remember, crusts can't touch. Vicious is a fair description. Cool, but vicious, for sure. Let's see. And so now, because this is a 4, now this can't be the crust anymore, because it would need to be a 4. And so now this is the crust. And so that is green. This is green. Good, good. Okay, so if this is crust, it's a 1. If this is crust, it's a 2. Right. Only one of these two is crust. And so therefore Mario's point is this has to be crust, because I need to put 2 crusts in the box, and I can only put one of them there. So therefore this is crust. So therefore this is not crust. And therefore this is not crust, because this is summing to 18. And 18 requires at least 3, but in this case it also is at most 3. So one of these two is a 3. Let's see. If row 5, column 5 is crust, one of these two needs to be a 3, and neither can be. That is very, very surprising and weird, but I'll take it. So therefore, this is crust. So therefore, it's a 2, because this sandwich is length 2. This is green. Let's see. There's a 2 over here somewhere. Let's see. My 18 is in 3. Is 18 in 3 without 3 interesting? This is finished, Playmaker points out, because I can't do it in 3. I have to do it in 4, which makes this purple, which makes both of these green. That means this sandwich is length 1, so that's a 1. This sandwich is length 4, so that's a 4. So that's not a 4, and that's not a 9. This sandwich is length 3, so that's a 3. Suddenly everything is falling into place. Let's see. So these are likely to be 5, 6, 7, I suppose. Yes, this clue is given. I did not notice, but that's a 9. Because we, as several people in chat point out, I was given that 9. Let's see, if this were crust, that would need to be a 1. That's not immediately interesting. Column 8's crusts are forced, Leo points out. Because I can't put them next to each other. And so if I can't put them next to each other, the only way to avoid them touching is that. And now one of these two is a 1. And so that reduces both crusts out of that. That's not crust anymore, because it would touch this. So therefore that is crust, because I need to have a crust in here. This is now a length 4 sandwich, so that's a 4. Now that's crust. I don't know when that happened, but it happened at some point. So one of these two is a 5. These aren't crust, because reasons. Row 2, column 6 is not 8 because of the outies in column 6. Sorry, row 2, column 6 because of the outies. Okay, yeah, what are the outies here? This collection of cells need to sum to 19, because these sum to 26, so the remaining 5 need to sum to 19. So in particular, 1 and 4 we can just account for. That means these 3 cells need to sum to 14. And so I almost certainly need to use a 2, because if I don't, then I'm going to get at least 4, 5, 7. No, sorry, at least actually at least too many, because these can't be any smaller than 5 unless they're 2. So therefore, one of these 2 cells is a 2. I don't know which one. But also, because now my minimum is 257. 257 just is it. 257 is the minimum, and it is the maximum. So this has to be a 5, and this is a 2-7 pair. That's the only way that works. And apparently this isn't a 7, so that's a 2 and a 7. This is an 8 to make the sum work, because we should not forget the sum. So these cells sum to something. Or sorry, these sums have some value. One of them is a 4, and one of them is the other one. That one's not the 4, so this is officially the other one. It's a 9, so these are not 9. So we've got all of that now. Let's see. 3-9 pair in box 5. No 3-9 here and no 3-9 here. So these are a 3-9 pair. Good spot to JLib there. Very nicely done. Okay, so these are a pair as well. What are they a pair of? 2, 3, 4, 5. They're a pair of 6 and 8. So this is a quad. What is my quad? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These aren't 2 or 4, so that's a 5-7 pair. So these aren't 5 or 7. And now this one just is a 2 and a 4 out of nowhere, which means that this isn't crust, because it would be length 4, and it can't be. So that is crust. So it's length 5, so that tells me one of these 2 is a 5. It tells me that's not crust, and that is crust. So one of these 2 is a 3. It is. One of these 2 is a 1. I might be looking for X-wings here. We'll see. But one of these 2 is a 3. So therefore, that's a 3. So therefore, that's a 1. So therefore, that's a 5. To sort of chase that around. That one's already a 2. One of these 2 is a 5. I don't think I know which one. At least as of yet. But because one of them's a 5, this is definitely a 7. So that's a 5. This is a pair. One of them is a 1, though, so the 1 goes there. And that's a 6. This is a triple of some description. Well, first of all, these are 8, 9 now, because I need to make... That's a 1, so these need to add to 18... Sorry, these need to add to 17, so they need to be 8, 9, and they need to go in that order. This is a pair, still, for 5 and 7, I believe. So I think it is 7 and 5, if I did my counting correctly. Counting with zeta time for 11ticles, as always. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I haven't seen 11ticles in a bit, I feel like. That's a 6, that's a 7, that's a 5. So these are less 6 than they once were. So let's fill in these 2 digits. They are a 4 and a 5. No. 4 and a 9. 4 and a 9. I think it's a 4 and a 9. 4 and a 9. So we've got that. I know how to make 8 in 1. I might not need a killer calculator to know all of the ways to make 8 in 1. Are there any other sums that I've just been completely ignoring? I don't think so. I think all the rest of it is just lengths. So let's see. Let's fill in these digits. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is not 2 or 8. That one's not 8. That one's not 2. It's not maximally useful. These cells are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those aren't 6 or 7, so those are a 2, 4 pair. So these aren't 2 or 4. They're a 6, 7 pair, but that one's not a 7, so that's a 6 and a 7. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That one seems to not be a 4. This one seems to just be a 9. So that's a 3 and a 1 and a 4. So that's a 5. So we can get rid of that. That's a 9. We've got here a 3 and an 8. I don't think I know the order yet, but Sven will tell me if we do. 6, 7, 8 go here. That's not a 7, so that gives us a 6, 8 pair in the row, which we'd better fill in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. None of these seem to be able to be 1, but I don't think there's anything we can do with that. This one's only able to be 2, and 9, and 3, therefore. So that 2 comes up here and knocks that 2 out, which then gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 7 now officially. So that's not a 7, and this is a 7. That 3 looks up and gives me an 8 and a 3. These aren't 8 anymore. That's a 5, 6 pair in row 3, so that makes that an 8, which makes that a 2, makes that a 4 and a 2. That 5, 6 pair also makes that an 8. Means that's not an 8, although you can speculate as to other reasons why it might not be an 8 if you are into that game. 9 in this column only goes here because of that 9 looking there, so that's the 9. So that's the 5 and the 6, and the 6 and the 5. These are, well, that's the 1 just by Sudoku. Let's see. The 4 goes there by Sudoku. 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 goes there. And that's an 8. So that's a 6 and an 8. That's a 6 and an 8. I probably can do this if I try very hard. It looks like it's a 5. That looks like it's a 2. That looks like it's a 9. And our betting tree is a 1. Totally unknowable until now, but we got it as our last cell there. Very nice puzzle. I enjoyed that quite a bit. So thank you to Rocky for setting that. And so I enjoyed that one quite a bit. I bet this was a nightmare to put together. Alrighty. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with another puzzle. Welcome back. Let us do a jovial X-sums puzzle. So if you've not seen X-sums before, then the way X-sums work is that you look for the digit that is in the cell immediately in front of the clue. And that's telling you the length of the clue, a lot like the previous puzzle, the crust was telling you the length. So in this case, it would be telling you the length is 3. And then that length is telling you that basically it creates a killer cage that sums to 15. And so these 3 cells need to sum to 15, so these would need to sum to 12, and so they could be, say, 7 and 5. And that is, that's how X-sums work. And so X-sums are really a build-your-own killer puzzle, though people usually don't talk about it that way, but it's really what's going on. Often in X-sums puzzles, the thing to do is to write in all the candidates for how big the cage could be. And so, for example, with 15, since I have 3 15s up here, the biggest I could possibly do is 5. But the smallest I could do is 3, because if I try and do 2, I would need to do 2 and 13. And so that does not work. And so this is a thing that might initially be counterintuitive if you haven't done this before, because you might think to yourself, aha, I'm finally getting this whole Sudoku thing down. I know that I can make 15 and 2. But in an X-sum puzzle, you don't get to make 15 and 2 without using a 2. And, well, 15 and 2 with a 2 suddenly is a whole different ball of wax. So these are 3, 4, 5, which is a triple. That's great. Now, these can't be 5. Fun fact, because 14 is smaller than 15. So these are actually a 3-4 pair. Now, the one of these that is 5 is actually completely forced, because the one of them that is 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, I should put down a betting tree. We're going to put the betting tree down there. We'll put it there. That seems like a pretty good betting tree spot. So yeah, the one of them that is 5 is going to have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight down. The fact that this cell can't be 3 or 4 is interesting. So let's go ahead and let's do the 21s as well. So the biggest a 21 could be is 6, and I bet the punchline is going to be that one of these is going to be 6. The smallest actually is 4. So these are 4, 5, 6. I'd expect no less from Jovi. So this is a 4, 5, 6 triple. And so one of these is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going straight up the thing. Which is interesting. Okay. Garion claims this one can't be 5, which I figure has something to do with this 4 and the 2 in this box, but I can't quite figure it out. Oh no, it's because of the column. Got it. Okay. I had not yet appreciated these. So the fact that these two face off creates a kind of problem where if this is a 5, this has to be at least a 4. And so the thing about 5 and 4 is that together they add to 9. And that means they cover the entire column. And so that would mean the digits in this column summed to at most 36. And note I just said this is a minimum of 4. It could also be a 6, but now actually the digits in the column sum to even less than 36. Whereas the digits in a column are supposed to sum to 45 if you do it right. So that's not a 5. I agree. Where's the 4 in the one of these that's a 5? Because one of these two is a 5. The 4 could be down in this row. Never mind. Yeah, exactly the same problem happens, Chad is pointing out, with this being a 6. Because if this were a 6, 6 plus 3 is also 9. And if this was a 4, that would force this to be a 5 sudokologically, and that would create the same problem. So in fact, this is a 3, and we get to bring in Zach for the 3 dance. Da 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 da. Thank you, Zachary. Much appreciated. So now these two digits sum to 12 without... I'm actually going to shade in the killer cages as we discover them. So these sum to 12 without using a 3. So they're either 4, 8 or 5, 7. But that can't be a 4, so that can't be an 8. If this is a 5... I'd need this digit to be a 9 exactly, which is maybe possible, because I would then say these 8 cells did sum to 36, which would make that a 9. So that is fascinating. I suppose I can fill in my 3, 4, 5 over here just for fun. Maybe I should do something with the 15 versing off against the 23. Because I can do the same trick over here with these two versing each other as well. Excuse me. Actually, sorry. Before I do that, let me look at this row, because I think something actually is interesting is going on here. Because 7 of these cells add to 28. And so the other cells in the other 2, I don't know which 2, but it's either these 2 or these 2. The others add to 15. So the others are 7 and 8. because they have to come from this. So this is never a 5, because I need to, with 2 digits, one of which is a 5, 7, or 8, make 15. So this is always a 7 or 8, and the other 7 or 8 is in one of these cells. Oops. 17, not 15? Oh, 17 is better. 28, 45 minus 28 is 17. 45 minus 28 is 17. So I actually know 2 of these cells need to add to 17. And so therefore that's an 8, and that's a 4, and one of these 2 is a 9. So that's pretty good. That seems to be an improvement. And so now I ask myself, where does the 4 go in the one of these that's a 5? And the answer is that the 4 goes in one of these 2 cells. So one of these 2 cells, and I'm going to flag those green. One of those 2 is a 4 for sure. Because remember, one of these is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can't put a 4 here, I can't put a 4 here, and I can't put a 4 here. So the 4 has to go there. This has become a 5. Just by the magic of Sudoku, as usual. I was about to mark this, but then I stopped. Sorry. So this is exactly the thing I said before. So if this is a 5, I said this is a 9. Well, this is now a 5, so this is a 9. This is delightful so far, Jovi. I am quite enjoying this. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These aren't 2. This cell is at least a 3. Can I do? No, I can't do 3. I would need to make the other 2 add to 20, which I cannot do. So this is at least a 4. And I can't go up to 7. So this is a 4, 5, or a 6. But I run into the same problem that I was talking about before if I make this a 6. Because if I make this a 6, this becomes at least a 3, and now this row sums to at most 38, which is still too little, so this can't be a 6. Same problem, actually, if this is a 4 or a 5. If this is a 4 or a 5, these become a 4-5 pair, and I am now proclaiming that the row adds to 38, which I'm not allowed to do. So this is a 3. Sorry. This one is a 3. So that one is a 4. That's a 3. That tells me where the 9 is, right? That tells me the 9 is there. It does. So these are a cage, and these are a cage. These are a cage. 38 is 7 less. So that's maybe okay. Although this would have to be pretty small. That 4 seems to have made this a 5, which seems to have made this a 4, which seems to have placed the 4 in green here and made these a 1, 2, 3 triple. So let me fill in my 1, 2, 3 triple. So that's not a 2, that's not a 3. So now these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry if you bet a low digit on the betting tree. I have bad news for you. These 2 cells need to add to 12, so they're certainly not 6. So it's either 7 and 5, 8 and 4, or 9 and 3. Well, it's not 9 and 3 either, so it's one of those, which gives us a weird-looking 4-5 pair over here. Most unusual. This 1 or 2 is interesting, is it? Maybe it's not. These 2 need to add to 11. Let's do it that way. It's not 2, 9, or 3, 8, or 4, 7. So it's got to be 5, 6 over here. And so now we know what those digits are. We need a 1 and a 2, and we've got the 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7. So that's not a 2. So these are 1, 2, 7, 4. That does sound like 14 to me. So I'm reassured by the fact that the numbers add up to the number. So if this is a 4, that's a 5. And I would need these 2 cells to add to 12 without using a 4 or 5. So these two cells would have to be 3, 9 exactly if this was a 4. In fact, they'd have to be 9 here and 3 here exactly. Whereas if this is a 6, then I need that digit to go there. This seems like more gritty than I'm supposed to get for this puzzle. This isn't a 6 because there's a 4, 6 pair in the row. So one of these two cells is the 6. Let's see. So these 3 cells need to sum to 11 for whatever it is worth. There is a 4 in one of these two cells. There is a 4 in one of these two cells. So, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, beautiful. So Screaming Ice Cube has it. If this is 5, then we do Zeta's favorite trick. Because if this is 5, now I need to make these two cells add to 6. But I've used 4 and 5, so I can't. I don't know why that exact combination always delights me. So it's actually the other way. It's 6 and 5. And now these two need to add to 5 instead, so they're 2 and 3, and so they're 3 and 2. That was very cool, Jovi. I'm assuming that was the intended discovery. So we've got that. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Very good spotting from Screaming Ice Cube as well. That was a very nice thing to pick out of the grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is not a 5. I'm just now thinking of Clover during her interview with Meme Rister saying that people did not like thinking about how to make, in gas puzzles, did not like thinking about how to make a 5 cage and a 6 cage work together in the same box. Which I found hilarious. Right. Garion notices that this 5 means that this can't be a 6. And because this 6 would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it can't be. So this is the 4. This is the 6. This cell now has to be a 5 because it can only be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's a 7 and a 1 because I'm going to put a 1 in this column somewhere, I hope. That's not going to be a 4. That's going to be a 6, narrowly avoiding the betting tree disaster. That's now a 1 because I need to put a 1 in here somewhere, and these are a 2, 3 pair. That is a 5 and a 4 by pencil marks. This is not a 6. That's not a 1. This is not a 4, making that a 4. I may or may not have all the 4s now. It's impossible to tell. These are a pair over here of 2 and 5. 2? Yes, 2 and 5. And I know the order. That's the 2, that's the 5. Okay, what's the overlap? Oh, there's an underlap. Sorry, there's an underlap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's my 5 cage here. So these cells sum to 7. So I need to look up in my killer calculator how to do 7 in one cell, because the yellow and the green together sum to 38. So in order to fill out the row, that's got to be a 7, which makes that an 8. It's probably distracting having these digits filled in here. Let's see. So no 7 here, no 7 here. So let's have a look at... Let's have a look at something. I know what these two digits are. That's probably a good idea to fill in. 1, 2, 3. I need a 4. No, I don't need a 4. No, I don't need 5 or a 6. Oh, I need an 8 and a 9. I should have known that. If I'd have thought at all about what had happened in this column, I'd have known immediately that that was an 8 and a 9, but it had completely left my brain. So these are a 1 and a 6 over here. These digits are a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is a naked single 6 somehow. How? Where's the 5? Oh, there's the 5. Okay, yeah, this is a naked single 6. Sure it is. Thank you, Sven. 2. So these are not 1. These are not 7. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 3, 8, and 9. That's not 9, so that is 9. These are therefore 3 and 8 for real. Let's see. I do still have a sum to make work. I just sort of... Oh, this sum's going to work automatically. But these 3 needing to add to 17 is necessary. Let's see. But if I filled in row 9, column 7, it would give away the value of the bet cell, and then that would ruin the suspense for everyone who is watching the stream who doesn't know if their bet is going to be right or not. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are from 7, 8, 9. Let's see. These are a triple that's also going to work out automatically. Because these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 6, 2, 9 go out. Let's see. Okay, are there any of these that are immediately thing? Okay, Naverio points out 3 is placed here. It will definitely be a stylish-looking 3. I think stylish-looking 3 seems very, very likely. Okay, so now these add to 7, so therefore these add to 14. So that's not a 1, because I've already got a 13 in this box, or can't have a 13 in this box, or whatever. That can't be a 2, because I can't put an 11 here. That would repeat the 1. So 6 here would work with a 5 here. 9 here would require a 5 here, so, and I can't have a 5 there, because I've already got one. Sorry, I was doing 11 for some reason. I got distracted. 6 here would put an 8 here. But 9 here still breaks. 9 here would put a 5 here, and there's already a 5 in the column. So this is actually a 6. This is actually an 8. So that is a 1 and a 2 and a 9. So that is a 6, and a 3 and an 8, and a 7 and a 6. Welcome back, Isabella. How are you doing? An 8 and a 2 and a 3. So these digits, oh, actually, let's fill in that one first. That's a 9 and a 1 and an 8 and a 7. So we can probably fill this one in. It looks like a 2 to me. This is a triple of some description. They are a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those aren't the 9, so that is the 9. This is a pair that includes a 1 and a 2. And these are a pair that includes a 7 and an 8, which it's unknowable what order those go in at the moment. But that 9 comes over here, looking at a 7 and a 9, looking at a 1 and a 7, looking at a 5 and a 1. That 8 and 9 got filled in. These are a 5 and a 6, which thanks to this 5, I can't put a 5 adjacent to a 5. That's one of the rules. So these are a 3 and an 8 and a 7 and an 8. This cell seems to be a 7 or a 9, and it's not a 9, so it seems to be a 7. And therefore, at long last, our betting tree is a 9. Lovely little puzzle there, Jovial. That was a lot of fun. I enjoy X-sums. I think X-sums are neat. I really liked the establishing the triples at the beginning. I think that made this fun. Yeah, we're powering through today somehow. Excuse me. All right. I'm going to have some tea, and I'll be right back with another puzzle. Alrighty, welcome back. Next up, we have a puzzle called Corrupted Cages by Crispy. So this is a non-standard killer puzzle, as you might notice by the 3-cell 4 cage. So digits in a cage cannot repeat. Sum to the total at the top left corner. But there's a but coming. There are 9 corrupted cells in the grid, 1 in each row, column, and box. And for purposes of cages, digits in corrupted cells are subtracted from the total of the other digits rather than added. So they count as negative. Each cage has at most 1 corrupted cell. And each digit from 1 to 9 is corrupted exactly once. Okay. So we know what's in this cage because I'm only allowed 1 negator for this cage. I guess I'm going to call it a negator or corrupted cell or whatever. And so the absolute minimum I could make is if this is 1, 2, 3, 4 are positive and 9 is negative. And conveniently, this given 9 tells me the negative 9 is not here. So the negative 9 is over here. So none of these cells are negator cells. And this isn't a negator cell because I've already negated the 9 in the grid in this cage. And these aren't negator cells because there's a negator cell in this column in this cage. And this isn't a negator cell because there's a negator cell in the cage already and it's up there. Okay. If this was not a corrupted cell, if this was not a negator, this would need to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Which would create a huge problem because that would be putting 6 or 5 1, 2, 3, 4s in the box. That's not going to work. So this is definitely a negator. So that's not. I should put a betting tree somewhere. Does anyone have a recommended betting tree for this puzzle? It sounds like a lot of people in chat have done this puzzle. Those are not. So this 3 cage that is in 2 cells that doesn't have a 2 in it definitely needs a negator. So these are all not negators. I don't think this 24 cage can work. So if the 24 cage was real, it would need a 1, because if you don't use a 1, then you would get to 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd get to way too many. In fact, you'd get to way too many. But if I put the 1 there, then now I can't use a 3. And so now I am a minimum of 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what does that add to? 5, 6, 7 is 18, plus 4 is 22, plus 2 is 24, plus 1 is 25, right? So if this was real, it's min 25. So therefore, this is a negator. That probably wasn't the lowest hanging fruit, but I was almost positive that if I did the math, it would turn out that it was needed to be a negator. There probably needs to be a negator in a 4-cell 3 cage. I'm going to go ahead and guess. And there probably needs to be a negator in a 3-cell 4 cage. So these are all not negated. These are all not negated. Let's see. So, okay. So this 15 cage is fake because, if the 15 cage was real, it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exactly. These cells can't be 1 and 2. So therefore, this cell would have to be the 2. But this cell would have to be the 1, and there's a 1 in the row, so that doesn't work. So this is definitely a negator. Those are not negators. Those are not negators. That's not a negator. That is a negator. That's not a negator. That is a negator. So we've got all of that hanging around. And so now one of these one of these two cages is real, and the 21 cage is definitely borked. So we've got lots of negators sort of scattered through the grid. Oh yeah, the box 1 negator we can place, and that's going to get us a digit, actually, because this is, remember, this is the -9. And so that lets us come out and do the 9 dance. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-boop. Ba-do-ba-do-boop-boop. Woo! Ba-do-ba-do. Woo! Ba-do-ba-do-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Woo! Thank you, Zach. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So we should probably go ahead and just keep on top of our bookmarking, because we now know that these only come from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's not 1 or 3. That one's not 2. That one's not 3. That one's not 1 or 2. That one's not 3. That one's not 3. Just so we can try and keep up. This isn't a 9. These are not 2 or... Sorry, those are not 2. Were they both not 2? No, sorry. This one's not 2. That one's not 3. Okay. These cells have to be at least 5 because they see the entirety of this quad. So these cells are from 5, 6, 7, 8, meaning they sum to at least 11. So I guess this is a maximum of 7. That's not actually very interesting. Actually, I can work out the sum of these two cells. What's the sum of these two cells? Because this is 19 plus 18 plus 19. What is 19 plus 18 plus 19? It's 38 plus 18 is 48 plus 8 is 56, which is 11 more than 45. So these two cells need to sum to 11. Did I do that right? Do people agree these two cells that sum to 11? Looks like Screaming Ice Cube agrees that the sum is 11. So this one's definitely not a 1. So this could be 2 and 9, or 3 and 8, or 4 and 7. Those are the only options for that that particular combo. But doesn't seem immediately useful so far. Yeah, it removed 1 from one cell. Okay, 1 second. Let's see. Jaleb says this cell is green, or I would have 2 1s in row 5. I don't understand. Let's see. So, is it something to do with what happens if the 34 cage is real? If the 34 cage is real, then... Oh, is the point that... 3 cells is max 24. But this is 4 cells. So, oh, okay, I understand now. So you're saying this can't be not real. Got it. Sorry, I thought people were saying this couldn't be real. So in the hypothetical world where this has a negator, it immediately breaks. Sorry, I was trying to prove the opposite and having a hard time because the opposite isn't true. So if this had a negator, even if it had a -1 and a 7, 8, 9, that doesn't work because this would need to be where the -1 went, and there's conveniently or inconveniently a 1 there. So actually, this is green, which fills out our negators. Like that. Okay. And so now, Jaleb points out that now forces the 34 cage, because the 34 cage does have a negator, but the maximum that 5 digits can sum to is 35, and that's if those 5 digits are exactly 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so the only way then to make this work is to take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and subtract 1, which is then going to remove 1 from all of my other negators. That was pretty cool. Let's see. And now these cells can't be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because these see the whole 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1. So these are from only 2, 3, 4. Because they see 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so if these are from 2, 3, 4, the absolute maximum these add to is 7. So the absolute minimum that these add to is 16. So these cells always include a 9 and are from 7, 8, 9 only. And so if there's not a 4 down here, we break immediately, right? Because if there's not a 4, then these sum to 5, and then I need these to sum to 18, and that doesn't work. So one of these really is a 4, that's true. And these are from 2, 3, 4. We've got our 1 there. Okay, there's a 1 up in one of these two cells somewhere. And the 1 isn't here. So just by Sudoku, 1 is in one of these two cells, and it can't be here, because then I need these to sum to 17, and they can't. So that's a 1. Let's see. So now, this cell is 5 greater than this one, or is it 3 greater than this one? So these two together are 4 greater than this. So this cell is 3 greater than this cell. So this cell can't be an 8 or a 7. Sorry, it can't be 8 or 7. So this cell needs to be 3 greater. So if that was a 2, this would be a 5. If this was a 4, this would be a 7. If this were a 5, that would be an 8. And if this were a 6, that would be a 9. Oh, right. I need to pencil mark this. That's right. Good point. So we've got all of that. Let's see. So let me look at chat. Chat says this is forced. Because the minimum I can make these sum to the maximum I can make these sum to is 24. So then 24 minus 2 would be 22. But this actually can't be, I can't make this sum to 24 because there's a 7, 8, 9 in the box. So actually the maximum I can do is actually 23, minus 2 is 21. So this has to be 6, 8, 9. That has to be 2, which makes that a 4 and a 3, and it's going to let us do all kinds of stuff. But first, let's go ahead and remove 2s from all of these. So now this cell is a 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. So therefore, this needs to be a 9 in order for that to work. These aren't 9, that is 9. This is a 5. These aren't 5, that's not 9. These aren't 5 or 9, they are... Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh, I just took out 9 from something I was not supposed to take 9 out of. Right. I was not supposed to take 9 out of this cell, because this cell actually is a 9. I don't know how I did that, but it happens. This cell's now given. This is a 2. So there's a 2 over here. If the 2 is here, these would need to be 8, 9, and they can't be. So that's the 2 for this row. And so that's the 4 for the row, just by Sudoku. So these aren't 4. That's not 4. That seems to not be 4 anymore. That seems to not be 4 anymore. That seems to not be 7 or 5. We're rapidly running out of places to put 4s, but we'll find one, I'm sure. Let's see. Okay, so the minimum that this cage can be is 5, 6, 7, and that's also 18. So this has to be a 5, 6, 7 cage. That's the only way this works, because no digit in here can be less than 5. Now that this is 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So this cell just is an 8, it looks like. And so that's a 7 and a 6. So these are a 7, 8, saying that's not a 7. So this digit's given. This is a 5. These are 3 and 4. That is not a 5. That's not a 6. That's not a 7. Okay, I need to think about these again. So this cell needs to be 3 higher than this one. Well, that means this cell's certainly not a 5. So this is either 8, 5 or 9, 6. Those are my options. I probably could work it out if I really tried, but there's lots of other stuff going on in the puzzle, so I probably don't actually have to. Let's see. One of these two needs to be a 3, because I do need a 3 negator. If this were a 3, that would be a 6. That's okay. Actually, let's just go ahead and fill in the candidates for this, because this cell needs to be 3 more than this one. So in particular, this is not an 8. And so this is either 6, 7, or 9. I am being told it's not 7. So this is not 4. So actually, this is 6 or 9, and this is 3 or 6. So weirdly, there's always a 6 in this cage, for reasons that can only be described as pathological. Let's see. So, this digit definitely goes over there, so it definitely goes up here. The 3 cage in box 4 needs to sum to at least 9 in green, so these need to sum to at least 7. That doesn't seem very difficult, especially since this one can't be a 1 or a 2. But maybe it's more restricted than I'm giving it credit for. I'm noticing that one of these two is 4. Those are the only places that 4 can go in negators. 8s, 7s, 6s, and 5s are in a bunch of places. Okay. I have a 1-3 pair in box 4. It is being pointed out by Isabella, which is beautiful. That 1-3 tells me that I need to put 1 and 3 in here, and those are the only places to do it. Just where is 9 in this box is a good question to ask. 9 in this box has to go here, which makes that a 6 and a 5. Makes these not 5. Makes these 2. And that can't be a 2 because it would repeat 2 in the cage. So that's a 2. And that is this is not a 6 or a 7. It is a 5 or an 8, and that's a 5 or an 8. So this triple then, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 4, 6, or 7, for what it is worth. Let's see. This cell can't be 5 or 8, because if this cell was 5 or 8, it would go there in this box. This is one of my favorite doubler tricks. If this were 5, just to say that again, if this were 5, 8, this would need to be 5. This would need to be the same as that. So this isn't 5 or 8. Let's see. Carl is claiming I can do math here. So if I make this 5 plus 2 minus 8, no, if I make this 8 plus 2 minus 5, yes. If I make this an 8, this is too big. 8 plus 2 minus 5 is already too big. So that doesn't work. So this is actually, instead of 8 plus 2 minus 5, it's 5 plus 2 minus 8, which is going to then remove 8 from all of these and let me know that this digit needs to be a 4? Yes, needs to be a 4. So therefore that is a 7. So that's not a 7. So we can get rid of the 7s out of these. Oh, I didn't get rid of 6 when I put a 6 in doublers, so that's a 5. I didn't get rid of it there either, so that's a 3, and that's a 4. So we've got all of our doubler negators filled in. So we can do lots of assorted Sudoku there. This is a super smooth puzzle, by the way. So this is a triple, and we could probably figure out what it is by now looking at this. Oh, in fact, apparently 3 only goes here now, so we can definitely figure out what it is. 4 is in the... I need a 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 5-8 pair. So 5 and 8 minus 7 is 13 minus 7 is 6, so this needs to be a 4, just to make that cage work out. So there's definitely a 7 in here. Let's see, that does not do it for me immediately. These cells need to add to 19. I don't think that's interesting. 3 cage in box 3. Oh, that is a smart point by Ambrose. I should pay attention to the 3 cage when I fill it in. This row still needs a 1, and the 1 apparently goes here. The row still needs a 5. Oops. I can't put 5s in all the cells. 6, 7, and an 8, and a 9. That one's not a 9. So that one's the 9, actually. I am learning from Sven. Thank you, Sven. So one of these cells is a 9. It's not that one. So one of these 2 cells... it's not that one either. So one of these cells is a 9. It's that one. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm enjoying the puzzle a lot. Sorry you missed the beginning, but the VOD is always there for you. Sorry I forgot a bedding tree in this one. We can put a very late blooming bedding tree here. It is camouflaged by the non-doublerness. So these cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the answer to what these are. So this one is an 8. This one is a 9. That one's a 3. So now these 2 cells sum to 8. Without being 1, 7, or 3, 5, so they better be 2, 6, is what these 2 cells are. These 2 cells are a 1, which goes here, and a 7, which goes here, which fixes the 8 and the 7, which fixes the 5 and the 8 and the 5. Oops, except I put the 5 in the wrong place, but other than that, was all well and good until that. Okay, so this cage is just automatically going to work. Did I ever look at this cage? Maybe I used the fact that digits couldn't repeat within it. I'm not even convinced I did that, but maybe I did. I'm sure I used it in some way, or could have used it in some way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was actually a little discussion earlier on the CTC Discord about when it's appropriate to deliberately put an extra clue in a puzzle, even if it's not necessary. Which is, I think, often the case. I used it at the start to put a negator here. Garion is correct. Excellent memory there, Garion. Let's see. One of these is a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is not 2 or 8. This is not 8. So we've got all of that goodiness. As they say. This is a triple. We need a 1, and I know where the 1 goes. Let's see, this column needs a 2, and I know where the 2 goes. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this column needs an 8, and I know where the 8 goes too. So that's an 8, and that's an 8. So now this is a pair. Actually, this is a naked single. Let's fill that in first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an 8, making that a 6 and an 8. This is a pair. It's a 6 and a 7, which go in that order. So now these currently sum to 3, so I need these two to sum to 12. So they can't be 6, 6, or 4, 8. And they can't be 3, 9 either, so they have to be 5, 7, and they have to go in that order. Giving me the 6 and the 7, and the 2 and the 4 and the 6, and the 2 and the 6. This digit is a 4. That digit's a 5. And our last digit here is a 3. Excellent puzzle, and boy, we're really knocking them out today. We have gone through. I was not expecting the crispy puzzle to be fast, based on my previous experience with crispy puzzles. I was expecting it to be a great puzzle, but this was actually a super fast puzzle. Very neat use of the rule set. It helped that we got to place all of the negators for free almost immediately, and then the extra region logic basically filled in all of these digits for us in the mid-solve, which sort of tightened up the very end. Alrighty. Well, I better go pull something up, so I'll be right back with another puzzle. Alrighty, welcome back. Let's have a look at this irregular arrow puzzle by Krangune, which I approach with some fear, but we greatly enjoyed the previous Krangune puzzle that we did on stream. I think this is only the second Krangune puzzle on stream, but the previous one was excellent and involved palindromes and arrows and was incredibly clever. So let's try this one. So instead of the normal regions, we've got sort of weird shapes, which I know is Tristan's favorite Sudoku mechanic, is weird shapes in things. Oh, I see something interesting already. And additionally, we have arrows where the circle gives the sum of all the digits on the arrow, but they could repeat. So, for example, these don't all have to be different. The thing I happen to notice is that if I highlight these and ask where that goes in column 3, that actually all of them go on these. Which means these two circles must have, I guess they don't have to have a particularly large sum, because this could be like 1, 2, 3 or something. But that must put some bound. Well, it certainly means that this can't be a 9. Right? This can't possibly be a 9 because I can't put a 9 on an arrow. It would put something that's like 10 or greater into a circle. Could it still be an 8? Maybe. Same thing over in this column. So yeah, so over here we get to do a similar thing, Kurabon points out, which is that now all of these cells are over on these arrows. And now that's very interesting because this arrow is already quite long. So this cell's already guaranteed to be at least 6 because it could be 1, 2, 1, 2. I think that's possible. This can really be 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. I think that's fine, at least as far as we're able to discern at the moment. Let's see. Other things like that, because that seems relevant. So like one of these two circles is strictly bigger than that, for whatever that means, and one of these two circles is strictly larger than this, although that feels like I'm grasping at straws a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of the coloring for the moment because I suspect I might want to color something else, but that is noteworthy. Okay. So I guess it's true to say these cells add up to at least 10 plus at least 3 more. That would mean that these need to sum to at least 13. That's not too big of a restriction. Is there some way that I can add together like all of these digits? Oh yeah, okay. That's okay. Maybe I'm supposed to do that. So that's 5 digits. That's at least 15. Plus these would be at least 21. So these 3 circles need to sum to at least 21. Is that at all interesting? Maybe not. I don't know. I probably have to do something like that. Yeah, this is for exactly the same reason. This is also from 3 to 8. This can't be 9 either. So actually, oh, maybe the 9 could go here. I was going to think the 9 had to go in this column, but it doesn't quite. The 9 can sneak off over there. In fact, actually, where is 9 in this row, actually? 9 in this row can only go in one of these 3 cells, for whatever that's worth. Oh yeah, let's put on row column labels. Sorry, we did a sandwich puzzle earlier, so we turned them off. And then, as so often happens, we did not make our way back to turning them on, and I can't find them. There they are. Text scanning is not one of my good skills. Oh, we should do a bet cell, yeah. This looks like a row 5, column 5 is the bet cell kind of puzzle to me. 9 is not in row 7, column 8. Okay. Right. Because this cell also goes over there. Right, because this cell joins those on the arrow here. So actually the 9 in this row is only in one of these 2 cells. So one of these 2 cells is a 9. Because there's nowhere else I can put a 9 in this row because there's so many arrows all over the place. Now, I mean, if that did anything, I would be ecstatic. I don't know that it does. So similarly over here, we have the same thing. One of those 2 is a 9. Let's see. Let's see. I'm kind of inclined to try Rangsk's coloring. I'm going to just pencil mark across boxes. I mean, if you can't pencil mark across boxes in an irregular Sudoku, then when can you pencil mark across boxes? Okay, so Rangsk suggested, okay, maybe we use this set. So the observation here that is at play is that the yellow cells and the blue cells are identical. And so that remains to be the case if we do something like cross out these. Let's see. The fact that it completely hits this region is interesting. Okay, actually... Right, okay, so I don't think I want to do this. I think I want to do it a different way. I think what I want to do is I think I want to say that right now I have 4 sets of the digits 1 through 9, and then I want to take out this one, leaving this, and take out this one, leaving this, and say that what I have presently is now 2 sets of the digits 1 through 9. So this is every digit from 1 to 9 exactly twice. And this now looks very suspicious. Because if this is every digit from 1 through 9 exactly twice, and I now have to somehow fill in these circles, this feels like this is going to be a min-max thing. Because I only have 4 digits in here that aren't on arrows. And by the way, all of these are really the same color. I just had it in 2 colors so I could keep track of what was double counted. Aren't there 4 places for 9s? I think there are 4 places for 9s. There's not a yellow 9. That is not a thing. These are all the same. These are all one thing. I only colored them in multiple colors at first to keep track of what cells were hit twice. So this cell and this cell, actually, I should remember, this cell and this cell, they are counted twice. So those are almost certainly going to have to be 1s, right? So I guess I really have to do this, don't I? The remaining shaded cells, including these twice, is that. So the sum of all of these is 90 plus the double counting of these. So the minimum sum of the highlighted cells is 92. But if I take away the fact that these aren't on arrows, the minimum sum... Oh, wait, no, sorry. When I said these count double, they don't count double towards the sum. They actually undercount towards the sum. Oh, Lord. Never mind. Okay. I think that... Yes, okay. So Tesseralis is doing the thing that I was sort of hoping for, which is... So the total sum here, again, is 90 plus the value of these. 90 minus the value of these? It's 90 minus the value of these, isn't it? Yeah, the total sum of the digits on arrows is 90 minus these. So let's pull stuff to arrows, though. So these 2 blue cells, they sum to the same as that cell. These 2 yellow cells, they sum to the same as that cell. These 2 yellow cells, they sum to the same as that cell. And so all of these together, they all sum to the same as that cell. And these sum to the same as that cell. And so now, what am I going to get to? I'm going to get to... So the yellow cells sum to... Yeah, the yellow cells sum to 90, right? I know the yellow cells sum to 90. Is that correct? I think that's correct. Because the yellow cells now don't have any duplicates. So the yellow cells now just do sum to 90. All cells, By the yellow cells, I meant all the colored cells, which is not a great way to articulate that, right? And so now I actually can just change. I now no longer need both colors. I can just make them all blue, just to make life easier. So the blue cells sum to 90. And so what is the maximum possible sum that I could make all of these cells sum to? Let's see, this would be 24. Plus another 24 is 48. Plus 17, plus 17, plus 9. And so J calculates that to be 91. So the maximum all of the blue cells can sum to is 91, but the reality is they sum to 90. So these are all one above, or sorry, there's 1 degree of freedom that I'm sure we can find if we hunt for it carefully. So first of all, we're going to place some 9s, because I'm going to eat up more than 1 degree of freedom. If I don't place a 9 in these 3 cells, I'm going to eat up 3 degrees of freedom to not place a 9, and I only have 1 degree of freedom. But we've already established that this cell, I believe, cannot be a 9, right? No, we did not establish that. We established that that cell can't be a 9. Never mind. Okay, so one of these is definitely a 9. One of those is definitely a 9. By the way, Nicholas, I'm pretty sure that you are not correct, but I from the way we did it, because we started with really 4 sets of the digits 1 through 9 and just removed stuff. There was no real yellow and blue when we were keeping track of stuff. Okay, so I can at least fill in the minimums here. So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9, because the maximum would be 7, 8, 9. I have 1 degree of freedom. These are from 7, 8, 9. These are from 6, 7, 8, 9. This cell now needs to be an 8 or a 9. These cells need to be from 7, 8, 9. Okay, that's just in order to make my 1 degree of freedom work. Now, I can notice something like, I guess this cell can only be a 1 or a 2, possibly. Or a 3, I guess. This could be a 1, 2, or a 3. This can only be a 1, 2, or a 3. Let's see. This cell is on an arrow, so it can't possibly be a 9. Just for the record, that cell's on an arrow. It can't possibly be a 9. Let's see. Row 3, column 7. Let's see. Carl says if this cell is a 7 or 8, you can't put 7, 8, 9 in blue in row 7. Right. But it could still be a 7, because I don't know if there's a 7 in row 7. But this cell can't be an 8. Because if this cell is an 8, then I now have an 8 in one of these cells. And so I have no 8 at all in row 7, and that eats 2 degrees of freedom, not 1. So this can't be an 8 at the very least, so it's only a 6 or a 7. And the same is true for row 7, column 3, the other way. If this were an 8, it would force an 8 into one of these cells, which would remove 8 from these cells, which they cannot be. In fact, actually, this is now an 8-9 pair. Because this is an 8-9 pair because I need both an 8 and a 9 or I lose 2 degrees of freedom, and I don't have 2 degrees of freedom. So these are an 8-9 pair, and that's a 6 or a 7. This can't be an 8 because effectively it would rule 8 out of both of these cells if it was an 8. So this is a 6 or a 7. That's a 6 or a 7. These are an 8-9 pair as well. So of course that's not an 8. That's not an 8 either. So why can't these two be the same is my question. Oh, wow. Holy shit. That's amazing. They can't be the same because of that. That's where our degree of freedom is. They can't, yes. If these were the same, it would rule it out of that. So these really are a 6-7 pair, and everything else needs to actually work. Because, so the point is, if these were both 7, then that would rule 7 out of this region. That's sweet. So these are a legitimate 6-7 pair. One of them gets a black flash, one of them gets a gray flash. And therefore, now every other thing needs to actually hit its degree of freedom. So these are an 8-9 pair for sure. These are an 8-9 pair for sure. This is a 9, and we get to do our digit dance. Ba-do-ba-do, wah-wah, ba-da-ba-da, woo, ba-ba-ba-do, wee, wah, wee, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Don't worry, you get extra fish tonight because there were a lot more puzzles today than there usually are. Okay, so that's a 9 for sure. You definitely had the right instinct. I would not demean this beautiful break-in by calling it set, but yeah, so yeah, we definitely need to color 8-9 pairs. There's no way we're getting away with not coloring 8-9 pairs. So let's make a purple 8-9 and a yellow 8-9. So that's going to be yellow and purple, for sure. So can I do anything insightful with that? Yeah, I probably can lose the blue. I don't think it's going to do anything anymore. As long as I remember that these are that. Although it was making the flashes look pretty, so I probably have to make this green instead of black. And to make this blue instead of gray, maybe. Yes, good point. Garion points out that this weird region, it has purple 8-9 placed here. And probably the same is true of the other esophagus or appendix or whatever shaped region in yellow. Maybe not. Oh, maybe not. No, it's not, I don't think. I don't think that has to be the yellow 8-9 unless I am missing something. One of these is definitely the yellow 8-9. Let's see. Okay, so this arrow sees both 6 and 7 because the green 6-7 is in one of these cells. So this arrow has no 6 or 7 on it, and it doesn't have purple on it either. So there's no 6, 7, 8, or 9 on this arrow. So this arrow actually sees all of 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this arrow is from 3, 4, 5 only, and it definitely has a 5 on it, because it's either 3, 5 if it's 8, or it's 4, 5 if it's 9. The same thing's going to be true for this arrow. This arrow sees 8-9 because it sees yellow, and it's not going to appear on its own arrow. And the green 6-7 is already in this row. So this is also 3, 4, 5, and also definitely contains a 5. That 5 looks at that cell. One of these two is a 5. For whatever that is worth. So, color yellow and purple. Yes, that's right. This got us into this box. That's very clever. Okay, good spot. Good spot. So this is yellow and this is purple. Row 3, column 8 and 9, C 6, 7, 8, and 9. C 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, they see the 6, 7, 8, 9 for sure, because the blue 6, 7's in here. I mean, I don't think I could plausibly put a 5 on this, but I don't see... Oh, it sees 5 because this 5 looks up into this plus. Right. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4. These are certainly from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the most that these could be is 6. So there's no 6, 7 up there for sure. Oh, and in fact, there's also a 5 looking at this, so it can't be 5 for the same reason. The 5 in this plus is living in this vertical stripe. So we've got that going on. Where is green going to live in row 7? I'm trying to convince myself why green can't live on this. Oh, right. Green can't live on this arrow because then the sum would be blue, but blue is gone. Okay, so green needs to live in one of these two. That's the point. Green in this row is a 6 or a 7. I can't put a 6 or a 7 on this arrow for the sort of funny reason that then the sum would need to be the other 6, 7 because it couldn't be 8 or 9, but that's gone. So one of these two is green. And likewise for blue in this row, one of these two is blue. I mean, there's no way this could be a 3. This can't possibly be a 3 because it would make these both 4. But I don't think this can be a 4 either, because if this is a 4, this is 1, 3, and that doesn't work either. Let's see. Could this be a 5? If this were a 5, I would have a 1, 2, 3, 4 triple in the row. These would definitely sum to 5 in that instance, because this was a 5. So these would sum to 5, and this would be these would be forced to be 1, 3 exactly. I do not know if that works or not. Otherwise, this is just forced to be a 6 or a 7. If this is a 4, okay, Jaleb points out, this cell can't be a 4, because if this is a 4, it would put a 1, 3 on the arrow, which would get rid of 4 and 3 and make this a 5, 5 pair, and that sums to 10, not 8 or 9, so this can't be a 4. Similar reasoning up here. So either this is a 3 with exactly a 1 and a 2, or it's the other 6, 7. So if this were a 6, it would have to be 2, 4 exactly. And if this were a 7, it could be 3, 4. It would have to be 3, 4 exactly. Oh, it can't be 3, 4. This can't be a 7, can it? If this is a 7, what's it going to be? It can't be 3, 4 because it would break this. It can't be 2, 5 because it would break this. And it can't be 1, 6 because it would break that. So this is just not a 7. It just does not have the option to be a 7. Carl sees it exactly at the same time. Does something similar happen up here? I don't think so. If this was a 7, yeah, I don't have the 5 looking at this one. So yeah, there's always a 2 on this for whatever that is worth. And so I guess I could fill in that these are from 1 to 4. That maybe sounds more exciting. I feel it's more exciting when I can center mark these cells. What if none of these cells are 1? Is that enough to break it? I don't know. Okay. Rangsk says if this cell is a 3, it makes that a 9 and also makes that a 9. I agree. Yes. If this is a 3, then both yellow and purple become 9s. Good spot. So that's not a 3. I'm glad to have Anti-Knight with us here for this puzzle, because I feel like this puzzle has a lot of Anti-Knight energy in it. So interestingly, if this is a 3, then purple is 9. Where are purple and yellow in row 6 has been asked. So purple and yellow in row 6. One of them has to be here. Because I can't put both 8, 9 in here. And I know that none of these cells are 8 and 9. So this is an 8, 9. For sure. Which is interesting. What do I do with it? Excuse me. What about 8, 9 in this row? Can I do a similar trick? Maybe not. I know they're not there. But I guess it could be there. Let's see. But thank you, Mehdi. That was a good observation. Let's see. So these cells... okay. One of these cells is a blue 6, 7. Which one is it? Well, the one of these that's a blue 6, 7 probably has to be this one, right? Because I know yellow 6, 7 is used in here. I know yellow 8, 9 is used in here, and purple is. So this cell, actually, just by row 8, it has to be the blue 6, 7, right? Do we agree with that? I think I agree with me that this has to be the blue 6, 7. Because everything higher than blue 6, 7 already has appeared here in this row before it. Not 7, 1, 6, because the green 6, 7 appears in this region in these cells. Afraid not. Is the answer. Is the green 6, 7's already here, and so I can't put a 6 or a 7 on the arrow. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I've got a 5. 5 in this column only goes in one of these two cells now. Which is very interesting with my cluster thingy of 5s over here. Because if this were a 5, it would suddenly start placing a bunch of stuff. But I don't quite see it yet. Let's see. The purple in this column is only in one of these two cells, Rangsk says. That seems to be correct. Well, those cells both see this cell, so this cell can't be purple, so it's not completely useless. Let's see. Row 6, column 3, row 7, column 2, and row 7, column 3 go on the arrow at the end of row 8. That's actually how I figured this out. I was looking at that. But now that's very relevant, because now these two cells sum to blue. Because, again, the question is, where did these two cells go in row 8 now? And the answer is they go there. So these two cells sum to blue. So this can't be a 3 anymore because of that. Because if this were a 3, I'm not getting to 6 or 7. So that's not a 3. Yeah, and one of these is 1 or 2, and one of them is 4 or 5. So there's always a 5 on this arrow. Why? Couldn't it be a 4 that's on this arrow? To Isabella's point, there's a 4 or a 5 and a 1 or a 2. Let's see. And I know I've got to put my 8 and 9 in here somewhere. Not there. So I've got to put my yellow 8, 9 I have to put in here somewhere. It's got to be in one of these two cells. Okay, so if this cell is 1, multiple people in chat are telling me that breaks. So if this is a 1, it certainly makes purple 8 and blue 7. Wait, people in chat are saying the opposite. If this is a 1, this needs to be a 7 in order to get this to be 8. But it's impossible then for these two to add to this. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So remember, these two cells, I'm going to go ahead and give them an obnoxious color for a second. Not purple. Orange. Orange goes over here. So orange adds to blue. But if this is a 1, then blue is now 7, because I need to make this at least 8, but that does not work. And so instead, this is a 2. Which I'd sort of hoped would do something, I'm going to be honest. It means there's a 2 in one of these. So it means these aren't 2, at the very least, because it does mean that 2 in this plus goes across here. It does mean 2 is on this arrow. That's true, with a 4 or a 5. Now these sum to a minimum of 4. So the maximum here is still 5, so they could still have a 4 up there. Row 3, column 8 or 9 has to be 1. Right. If there was no 1 here, these would sum to too many. They would be a minimum of 3, 4 now, owing to that virtual 2 pencil marked in the row. So Garion is correct. One of these needs to be a 1. So the row 3 arrow needs a 2. Yeah, because if I don't put a 2 here, then I'm now pricing myself into putting at least 3, 4, but I can't put both 3 and 4, so I need to be bigger than that, and that would be bigger than this. Great point from Screaming Ice Cube. So this is from 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. Based on what that is. There's always a 2. Okay. So purple and blue are either both big or both small. And so green and yellow are either both big or both small. So I think this is always a 2. So let's look at this. I think this cell has to be a 2 because of how purple and blue and green and yellow are related. So the universes are purple is 8, in which case blue is 6. Or purple is 9, in which case blue is 7. But then the yellows are the other 2. So if yellow is 9, then this is always a 2, is the point. Somewhat beautifully. Because of this arrow ties together that. And I guess that comes back to this 6-7 pair that was sort of fundamental to everything to start with. And so now this is at least 4. Yeah, so now these 4. Yeah. Okay. Okay. If blue is 6, it will break row 7, I am being told. Okay, so if blue is 6, that makes this a 3, which makes this a 4-5, which, right. Perfect. Yep. Blue is 2 less than purple. But if blue is 6 in this row, because of this arrow, it makes purple 9, which is not 2 less. So in fact, blue's actually 7 and purple is 9. So that's 8 and 6. So that's 6. Sorry. So that's 7. I can do this, I swear. That's a 9 and a 9 and an 8 and an 8 and a 9. Very good spot. So these are 2, 5. This is not a 5. So this is a 5. By our previous observation. So this is a 5 by our previous observation, that this always has a 5 on it. So these weirdly are a weird sort of 3-4 pair. This is not a 6. So there's no 4 on it. So if there's no 4 there, I don't know that there's no 4 over. I don't know that there's definitely a 4 over here. Let's see. 9 in row 4 has been called. 9 in row 4. 9 in row 4. Yep, 9 in row 4. Because 9 is now purple, is the point. So there's no 9 there. No 9 in any of those places. 9 in row 4 now goes here. Great spot. I think we can figure out the 3-4 pair. I have a suspicion, actually, now that I realize this is my worst leak with arrow puzzles, is filling in 2 of the digits on an arrow and just not even noticing that I can write in that that's a 3 and a 4, because I need to solve the equation 9 plus 5 plus x, or 9 equals 5 plus x. So this really is a 3 because of that. This digit's now a write-in. It's a 6. This isn't a 3, for whatever that's worth. This being a 6 means it is green. This isn't green. Sorry, this is not green. This is green. Let's see. So, let's see. 5 in column 7 has been called. 5 in column 7 is there. This is the last 1, 3, or a 4, but it's not a 1 or a 3. So for the column, this is 1, 3, or 4, but for the region, it's just a 4. So those two sum to 4. So now these two need to sum to 5 in order to make 9, so they can't include a 3. These have to be 1, 4 in order to make the total here 9, to make my arrow work, because otherwise my arrow no worky. So this is 2, 3, or 5, but it's not a 5. So where does 5 go in this row? I don't know. It could be there, darn it. Sorry, I completely misspoke when I said this is 2, 3, or 5. This is not 1 or 2. It could be a 3, or a 5, or a 7, and it's not a 5. So this is a 3 or a 7, based on what happens. This column is missing a 1. We've got a 2, 3. We're missing a 4. We've got a 5. We need a 6. We've got a 7. We need an 8. And we've got a 9. This isn't an 8. This isn't a 1. It's not a 4 either, because if this were a 4, that would be a 1, 3 pair, which would break that cell. So this is 6 or 8 only. Let's see. I don't immediately see how I know whether it is 6 or 8. I should, but I don't. Let's see. Oh, Kurban says pencil out column 3 now. Oh no. Anti-Knight has discovered the secret, which is that the bet cell is a 2 sneaking in there because of the 2s looking into here. So now that's going to fill in the 1 and the 2, and it's going to fill in the 2 up here. So that's not going to be a 2 anymore. So now there's no 2 on this arrow, for whatever that's worth. I guess there was no 2 on that arrow anyway. Row 2 arrow. 2, 5, and 1, 4 are pencilable on the row. So if this were I'm going to try and read the tea leaves here. So if this were a 6, it would be 1, 2, or 4, 5. I think I'm guessing correctly what Rangsk is meaning. If this were a 6, it would be 1, 2, or 4, 5. If it were an 8, isn't everything still on the table if this is an 8, though? I don't think I can pencil mark this yet. But I could be misunderstanding something. 9 in row 2. Row 2 would like to have a 9, and because of this sort of weird shaped region, the 9 in row 2 is now placed. It can only go here. Looked at the options for 6 and declared victory. That I mean, it's a gambit, but it could pay off. 2 in row 9. 2 in row 9 is definitely in here because this thing needs a 2. And neither of those can be a 2, so therefore that's a 2. So I can pencil this, I don't know, scythe or cane or whatever it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that one is not a 1, at the very least. That's something. Are these also 1, 3, 6, 7? Looks like it. That one's not a 6, for whatever it's worth. Let's see. Is this also a quad? This is also a quad. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe that will give us some more. That's not a 1. That's not an 8. Maybe it will give us nothing. That's also possible. Row 1, column 4 will equal row 2, column 3. Oh, but that has been retracted. I know for sure one of these two is 1. I don't know that I can do anything with it. I mean, it tells me that these all aren't 1. Oh, actually, no, that does... Oh, no, it doesn't quite. I thought it was going to do something. It does not do something. Because these can be 1 down here. Okay. Rally. Come on, let's rally. We can do it. 2 in the top right region. So 2 in this one. It's not there or there or there or there. Or there or there. Let's see. I don't think I see how to rule it out of any of these. I do think I believe that... Oh, it's not there. Okay, I can say it's not there because there's a 2 in the column. It was camouflaged. How to not be seen and all. So one of these is a 2, and so that looks down and gives me the 5 and the 2. Which we also could have done by asking where 2 was in column 8. So now I can ask where 5 goes in this, and so 5's going to go in one of those cells. I don't know if that's going to be useful in and of itself. Let's see. Five in column 8. Okay, now I have to see, how do I know which of these is really the 5? Does one of these regions already have a 5? I don't think I know which of these is the 5, but I might be missing something. Very plausibly. Let's see. The arrows, the 4 in row 1, column 1 eliminates it from row 8, column 2. Let's see. 6 in column 9. Let's look at 6 in column 9. Okay, so 6 could be in, I think, any of those places. Oh, okay, I understand afraid not's point. 4 is in one of these 3 cells because 4 is looking at these cells. So 4 is in one of these cells, and so therefore this isn't a 4. That's afraid not's point. Where is the 6 in the lower right region? The 6 in the lower right region is in one of this bucket of cells. And so that means that the 6 in this region is in one of these 2 cells, for sure, right? Because it's not there, and it's not in any of those, and it's not in those, so it's in one of these 2, so it's not there. 4 is placed in row 5, column 2. Why can't 4... 4 can't go here, because it would make this... No, I don't think so, unfortunately. So... Yeah, I have this little weird X-wing on 1s that I keep trying to use to do literally anything, but I have not succeeded in getting it to do literally anything yet. Four can't go here. 4, 6, 8. 4, 6, 8 does not add to 8. What am I talking about? I don't know why in my brain that math worked out. Yeah, this can't be a 4, because if this were a 6 or an 8, this would need to be a 2 or a 4, and both of them break. So yeah, so this can't be a 4. So actually, this arrow can't add to 6. Oh, unless it's 1, 5. So if this arrow is if this is a 6, this needs to be 1, 5 in that order. If this is an 8, are there still, like, every possible option in the entire universe is open? I think that's true, though, unfortunately. 6 has to be on the arrow in row 2. Six has to be on the arrow. Why does the 6 have to be on the arrow? Okay, so those can't be 6. I don't understand why these can't be 6 yet. Oh, I see. It just has to be involved in the arrow somehow. Okay, because I can't put 6 there, and I can't put 6 here because the pencil mark's down here. Okay, so that means I actually can pencil mark this. So Carl's point is, where does 6 go in row 2? Not in a region with a 6, not in a column where the 6 is pencil marked. So there is a 6 on here. So either this is a 6 with a 1 and a 5, or it's an 8, and there's a 6 on here, in which case it would be a 6 and a 2. So this cell is always 1 or 2. This cell is always 5 or 6. In order to make that work. One of these 2 cells is always a 6. Let's see. Row 3, column 8. Can't be 4, because where would it go in row 2? Why couldn't it go here in row 2? Am I forgetting about 4? Oh, right. It can't because of the interaction of this region. Right. If this is a 4, I mean, whatever this is, it gets pushed over there. And so this digit, then if this is a 4, right, it would push 4 out of this cell. It would push it out of all of these. And so it would go up here. So in fact, actually, the thing you could think about is just this digit, it always goes on this arrow over here in one of the cells. So it can't be a 4. It has to be a 1 and a 4. That's a good spot. Oh, except I should not fill in 1 in all the spots, just in that one. So 1 and a 4 and a 3 and a 1. That's not a 1. Was a great spot. So this is a 3 or a 7. These are a quad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's not an 8. These can be anything. This one can't be a 4, actually. I know one of these two cells is a 4 because of this 4 looking down. So that's not a 4. So this is a 5, 7, or 8, I suppose. The row 2 arrow. Right, so now where does the 1 go in row 2? The 1 in row 2 is now placed because the 1 can't go here because there's a 1 over there. And so that places a 1 here, which places a 5 here and a 6 here. Very nice. Which makes that a 6. Makes these not 6. Very nice, because yeah, as soon as I realized the 1 had to go over here, I knew what it was. So not a 5. I mean, I didn't, but you did. 6, 1, and 6 come out. So now there's a 3, 7 pair in this column. So now I can fill out the rest of this column. There are 2, which seems to go up here. 3 and a 4, which seems to go here, making that a 1. Which makes that a 4, because that's not a 4 anymore. This isn't a 1 anymore. This column needs a 1. It can only go there. So these are a triple. They are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. None of those are 9, because they're a triple, and I put 4 things in it. What do you know? So now this is not a 1. I know one of these two is the 6 for this region, and so that's not a 6. In fact, I have a 3, 6, 7 triple that's making that a 1. This 2 has placed that 2. This, let's see. Row 6 needs a 3, I am being told. It is not in any of those cells. So it is either there or there. Do I know which one it is? I'm not sure. Oh, what's the low digit on the row 6 arrow? Oh, right. 1, 2, and 4 are gone. Right. Okay. So this arrow needs a 3 because otherwise it sums to at least 11 because 1, 2, and 4 are gone. So the next highest digits are 5 and 6. So therefore that's the 3. So that's the 7 and the 3. And that's going to fix the 5 and the 7, sorting out that whole deal. These are not 7. This loses its privilege of color. This gets fully upgraded. This 7 is also blue while we're bluing things. This digit now just is a 6, and that's a 3. That's a 6 by our pencil marks. That's a 3. No, sorry. That's a 7. And so that's an 8, and a 4, and a 7, and a 5. The 7 is blue. The 6 is green. The 8 is yellow. This is not a 6. Let's see. This is not a 4. Yeah, the 6s really got away from me. Let's green all the 6s. Let's see. There aren't any uncolored 8s. There aren't any uncolored... Oh, there is an uncolored 7. Sorry, I'm in the wrong mode. Are there any uncolored 8s? There aren't, but there are uncolored 7s. There's at least one. That's blue. Where does green go in row 9, column 5? Yes. So this is a 5 or a 6, and it's not a 6. So it's a 5 to make the arrow work, which makes this an 8, which makes this a 9, which makes this an 8. Doing all of that stuff. This row has a 6 to place and a 9 to place. So the 9 is going here. So the 6 is going here, and the 6 in this region is going here, and those 6s are green. So this is a naked single. It is a 3. I got close to a 3. This cell is blue. This is a single. It's a 5. This is a pair. One of them is a 3. Oh, actually, this one's a 3, while I'm doing things that are 3. So this is the 3, actually. 4, 5, 6, and so that's a 7. This region, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is missing an 8, so this cell's yellow. Unbeknownst to anyone, so this cell is yellow. This cell is green. That 8 looks down and makes that a 4, a 1, and a yellow. So we look up here and get the 1. Let's see. This must be blue, because I'm seeing I don't have a blue here. And now I need to do a real quick bluing of this 7. 150th word game stream. That's a lot of word game streams. Let's see, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, I think the coloring is done. And this is a 4. It was a nice puzzle. Yes, as Eric says in chat, if you are here and you've not yet clicked the like button on the stream, it would be much appreciated if you did so. It is always much appreciated. Although others see more likes than Eric does. I see 36, it seems like. Now I see 38. I like to see the number going up. The number going up is good. Alrighty. Let me take a quick break, and I will be right back with some 6x6 action. And if, by the way, if you're not privy to the 6x6 action, now on the zetamath Discord, which you can get on totally for free, there's a link below, you are allowed, if you like, to go and click on the thread in the zetamath Discord for 6x6s. And so at the end of stream, when I don't have a lot of time left, I'm just going to do 6x6s. And so I'm going to do the ones that are there. And it's just set up as a thread, so you don't need to do any fancy technical stuff that I don't understand in order to get there. You can just log onto the Discord and look at those. And so if you have some 6x6s, or if you're interested in making some 6x6s, please add them there. My only request is that you keep them relatively short, because the point is to do them at the end of the stream. So although I might very well do a 6x6 that was going to take an hour if it was a good 6x6, I don't want to do it in the time I'm trying to sort of close out the stream. So I'm going to go grab one of those, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's start with the Rangsk one, because I haven't done a Rangsk puzzle in a while. which may be related to the statement that it's your 100 and whatever word stream, 150th word game stream, because I suspect if you stream multiple times a day, that you probably run out of time to do other things. So we've got here a region sum lines puzzle. So the way a region sum line works is that the sum of each of these lines is the same through each box that it pushes through. So these 5 cells sum to the same as these 3 cells. These 2 cells sum to the same as these 2 cells. So the thing I notice right away is that this sums to at least 10, but these sum to at most 11. So these are from 4, 5, 6 and definitely contain a 6. These are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and definitely contain a 1, 2, and a 3, or 1, 2, and a 3. So now the question is, can I really put a 6 on this line? And so if this were 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, would that work? I think the answer is yes. I think that would be okay. Oh, right, of course. I'm just being silly. The minimum of this is 15 and the maximum of this is 15. So that's 4, 5, 6. This is 1, 2, 4, 5. And so this is a 6. Woo! Zach does very abbreviated digit dances for 6x6s. So we've got that. So these are 1, 2, 3. So this is not 1, 2, or a 3. These are not 4 or 5 or 6. They're from 1, 2, 3. These are from 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is the 4 or the 5 that dictates what happens here. This is apparently not a 3 for some reason. So what I see is this can't be 1, 3, because if this were 1, 3, this would need to be 1, 3, and that would break the given 3. So this is not summing to 4. If it's summing to 5, it can't be summing to 3 either. Okay, got it. Can't be summing to 3 either, because if it were summing to 3, these would be 1, 2, and 1, 2, and these would be 1, 2. But that would be not great for the column because of this 6. So the sum is not 3 or 4, therefore the sum is 5, and the only way I get to a sum of 5... Sorry, I ruined the drama. The only way I get to a sum of 5 is that. Makes that a 1. And so now these are 1, 4 in some order, which makes that 5, 6, which makes that a 5 in order to make that work. So that's a 6 and a 5. This is now a 6 and a 5 as well. So that seems to be a 4 and a 6. This is a 1 and a 3, making that a 2. Sweet. I really enjoyed that as well. That was quite cool. So this is a 3 and a 1 because of the 1, 4 pair there. That's a 2, so that's a 4 and a 5. These digits are a 2 and a 4 in that order. These digits are a 4 in that order. These are a 1, 2, and a 3. That's the 3. These are the 1 and the 2 in that order. So that's the 3 and the 1. This seems to now be a 5 and a 1 and a 2 and a 4 and a 1 and a 6 and a 4. That's a 3, a 6, and a 5. 4 minutes and a bit. That's pretty good. I'm very pleased with that. That was very cute. That was very, very well put together. Even if I spent, 90 whole seconds not realizing this and instead working on the fact that there was 1 degree of freedom over here. But woohoo! There's another 6x6. Be right back with another one. We have another 6x6 region sum lines puzzle. So if I read the rules correctly, the colors are just to say each of these is a region sum line, but they're different region sum lines. So I know what... Oh, I don't know immediately what the sum is, do I? Let's see. Okay, so this one is a sum of 2 digits, but it's a sum of 2 digits that can be made in 2 different ways. So this can't be a 3 or a 4. Even though I could make 3 or 4 as a sum of 1 digit, this can't be one of those. This can only be 5 or 6 because of the fact that that sum of 2 and that sum of 2 are different. In fact, actually, I can do a little bit of coloring. These 2 cells, where do they go in this box? They have to go there. I don't know if that's useful, but it's true. This cell, therefore, has to go there. I feel like this is not going to be the thing I should be doing. If I were to speculate based on things. So this sum... I was right. I should have colored it. So now, okay, I can be convinced to color. So now this cell needs to go here because it can't repeat on its own line. So this is now a 5 or a 6 for whatever that's worth. And so, so this sums either to, because the yellows are over here, this sums either to 10 or 12. Because it's red plus this. And so, yeah, so the sum is 10 or 12. If the sum were 10, these would all be from 1, 2, 3, 4, which doesn't sound good. So the sum has to be 12, because I can't put any 5s or 6s in row 6 if the sum is 10. So these are 6s. Woo! So the sum is 12. So these are from 1, 2, or 4, 5. This is a 3, actually, funnily enough, because I can't put a 3 in a sum to 6, and this is another sum to 6, so that's the only place the 3 goes. I kind of hope that does something, because I felt it was cool, but I don't think it does anything. One of these is a 6. Right. So the ways to make 12 are, just a reminder for myself, 1, 2, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 6. And so because there's a 6 here, that's got to be a 3. And so that means my outies over here are not 3 and 6, because I have to have a 3 or a 6 on the line. So these are 4, 5. These are 1, 2. This is actually very much like the Isabella puzzle we did at the very beginning of the stream. Because of that, that business. Okay. So we've got all of that. So these sum to, here's a different way to do it. These sum to 24, and so therefore these sum to 3. So these are a 1-2 pair. That would have been a different way to sort of conceptualize what's going on here. So now these can't be 6 and 3 because there's no 3 in them. So these have to be 4 and 5. These have to be 3 and 6 in order to make that work. Where does the 3 go in this box? It definitely goes down there. We can actually just place it. That might have been the more less convoluted way of saying the same thing. One of these is a 1 or a 2, and it's not that one. So this is a 1 or a 2. This is a 4 or a 5. Let's see. one of these is a 1 or a 2, but I don't think I know which one yet. This blue I know is not a 1 or a 2, but it is part of a sum to 6, so it's a 4 or a 5. So that's a 1 or a 2 over there. So that's a 1-2 pair in the column. So now I know where the 6 goes in the column. Also, 6 is not 4 or 5, so I already knew where the 6 went in the column, but we're just going to pretend. That's a 1 or a 2, so that's a 1 or a 2. That's the blue 4, 5. So that's the blue 4, 5. So that is the 4, 5 that's not blue. For whatever that's worth. I suspect basically nothing, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Okay. A wandering Triss appeared and disappeared. I think he collected a trash can. Row 4, column 3 is a 3. Can you tell me how we know that? Let's see. Right. Okay, yes, I see it now. These sum to 6, these sum to 12. So, therefore, those together sum to 18. So, therefore, this is a 3 in order to make the secret work. So, that's a 6 and a 3. And so now that's a 3 just by Sudoku. Let's see. Rangsk is pointing out this can't be 6 because there's a 6 in the column. So that's the 6, and this is the 1 or the 2. So now the 6 in this box goes here. And they all turn red out of excitement. Let's see. So this has to be the other 1, 2, because I also need these to sum to 12. So this is a 1, 2 for the column. So wait, is it? No, I don't think that's true. Don't listen to me. One of these is 1, 2, and one of these is 4, 5, but I don't know which. This is a 4, 5 for the column, at the very least. That I know. This total can't be 6. Can the total be 5? If this were 1 and 4, then this would need to be a 2 and a 3. Otherwise, the total is 7, in which case this is 2 and 5, and this is a 4. Right. Okay. I love Anti-Knight's way of seeing it is very nice. So this cell can't be 4, 5. Because then, wait, not quite. These two would be the same digit in that case. I like the idea, but I don't think the line bends in quite the right way for that to work. Okay, so if the sum is 7, I need 2 2s in column 3. That sounds bad. So if this were 2 and 5, this would be 4 and 3. Ah, yes, and then this 4 would put a 2 there. Right, okay. So if this sum is 7, this is Rangsk's point. If the sum is 7, that's a 2 and a 5. But that's a 4 and a 3, but now that's a 2 because I need to make this sum to 6, and that doesn't work. So the sum can't be 7. The sum can't be 6 because these two sum to 6, so these two can't sum to 6. And so if the sum is at most 7, but it's not 7 and it's not 6, then it is 5, and the only way we do that is as 4 and 1. Makes that 5, that 2, that 1, that 2, that 1, that 2, and 1. And so now what's left in this column is 2 and 4. So this is a 2-4 pair that has to go in that order, making that 5 and 1, making that 1 and 2 and 4, and 5 and 4 and 5, and 4 and 5, and 4, and 5 and 2. Very nice. I really loved the fact that the sum of the line couldn't be 10, but you could color a bit to see that it had to be 10 or 12. That was a really cute step. Alrighty, I think I have time to do one more. Alrighty, let's do this M Nasty 92 puzzle. So M Nasty's had some really fantastic puzzles recently. So first of all, this is a mean mini, so that means we need to decide what set of 6 digits we want to use. We don't necessarily use 1 through 6, although we could if it works. And then in this case, the additional rule is that the pill gives the sum of the cells. Okay. So in the killer cage. Okay. So I'm noticing that these have to be a 1-2 pair, and this one can't be a 2. Because if this was a 2, I'd be saying the sum of these was both 20-something, and that's not going to work. So that's definitely a 1 and a 2. Ba-boo! Ba-boo! Thank you, Zach. And if this is a 2, I need to make this sum to 20-something, which I guess I can just barely do without an 8. Or sorry, without a 9. This is very interesting with the doubling the cage, because this is going to tell me something very tight about the total of all the digits, because the total of all the digits is going to be whatever this 1-something number is, plus that. But I do have some numbers here that sum to a single digit number, so that's 3 numbers. So this is from 6, 7, 8, 9. Which is interesting. There's almost certainly a 1 in here, but I don't think I can prove it. Okay, so these 3 digits are these 3 digits. That's interesting, just because all 6x6s are quote-unquote roped. So, in particular, this sum's definitely even. Because it's summing that same number twice. So this is not 7 or 9. Oops. If it's 6, then it's because this is 3 with a 1 and a 2. And if it's 8, then it's 4 with a 1 and a 3. And so there's always a 1 in here. There's always a 1 over here. And these are for 1, 2, 3, 4 only, because of the way that worked out. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 worries me a lot about what's going to happen with this cage. Maybe not. Let's see. If I use 1, 2, 3, then I only have 3 digits left that have to be something in the 7, 8, 9 end of the spectrum, because they have to add to a 20-something number. And that 20-something number would have to be 21 or 23. Which seems tricky. but not necessarily. Let's see. Oh, that's a very good spot from Jay. I need to put a 2 somewhere in this box because there's a 2 in the puzzle. That's also gorgeous setting. I can't put the 2 in one of these cages because then the most I could make it sum to is 11, but there's no way this is an 11. So actually that has to be the 2 that lives inside this thing. So one of these 2 is a 2. And so the sum is 12. And so the total sum of all of the digits is 27, because it's 12 plus 12 plus 3. And so this can't be anywhere near 7, if I think about it. Because if these are summing to 12 and 12, then I need to take 27 minus the sum of these. So 27 minus at least 213, right? Oh, this has to be 213 now, right? Because the minimum that this could be is 21, but also the maximum that it could be is 21, because now I need to omit 3 cells from a puzzle where the total sum is 27. So this has got to be 213, which makes that a 3, makes that a 4. Did I screw this up? No, I did not. Okay. This is a 4 and a 1, making that an 8, making this a 1, 3, 4, making that a 2. But now these need to sum to 21 with an 8 and a 4. And what else goes in with this? And the answer is a 9. So these are actually 4, 8, 9, just straight up on the nose. 4, 8. So these are 8, 9. So by uniqueness, this is a 4. We probably don't need to do that. So this is not a 4 or an 8. So therefore this cage is a 3, 9 cage. And therefore it goes in that order. This is a 4, 8. So therefore this is a 9. And an 8 and a 4. See, I told you it was a 4. And an 8 and a 9. These 2 digits are a 9 and something, 2 and a 9. These are an 8, 4, and 9. These are 1, 2, 3. And so what can I make out of these digits with 1, 2, and 3? I can only make 4. So that works like that. That's not the 4. That's a 1, 3 pair in the column. So these are a 9 and a, well, the 9 goes there, actually, and a 2. These 2 now need to sum to 9 out of this collection of digits. The only way to do that is 1 and 8, I believe. So these are a 1 and 8, which goes in that order, making a 4 and an 8. Making that a 9 and an 8, and a 2 and a 9. I seem to have created a deadly pattern that I don't think I know how to resolve. Haven't I? Because now this is a 4. That's a 2. No, what did I do? Oh, I see. 8 and 4 do not add to, there we go. That is what I did. 8 and 4 do not add to 9. That is the problem. 4 and 8, 3 and 1, 2, 9, 8, 4, 3, 1, 2, 9. Oh, and that's not all of the puzzle. And that's, why am I putting a 5? There's not a 5 in this puzzle. That's a 3, and that's the 4. And then we're done. Woohoo! Quite a nice day of puzzles there. Thank you for those of you who've been contributing to the 6x6 collection. There are a great many 6x6s in there already. So if you just want to do some 6x6s, you can go in and dive in and you can find some 6x6s to do. But I'll also continue doing them, and if you continue adding stuff to it, I'll continue doing those at the end of stream. But I'm going to wrap up stream for today there. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you to all of you who support the channel. It means so much. It keeps us doing this through all of this. It helps feed all of us fish, the whole Zeta family. So much appreciated. And thank you to especially to the super supporters. So the people who support us at the turbine level, that is David, Michael, Nordy, and Franco. Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for liking the stream. Thank you for hanging out and helping me with puzzles. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. The next time I stream is on Friday at the same time. So if you want to join then, I look forward to seeing you. But bye for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. And woofer. Did I not say woofer? I thought I said woofer. I'm sorry. I am desperately sorry if I somehow did not say woofer out loud. Thank you, woofer. Also for helping me finish the puzzle I finally finished. That was much appreciated. Okay, bye for real.